Righto, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Idle Talk Podcast.
Let's do it.
Episode number 7, proudly sponsored by Octane Apparel, and you'll see later on that this episode is proudly sponsored by Tropical Meltdown Canned as well, which is a massive event up north Queensland, which we'll get into a little bit later on, and you'll see an ad get chucked in this episode at some point. Leading on from that, welcome Andrew Wilkinson from Classic Lacquer GC.
Yeah, cheers, brother.
He's here on the couch, finally.
Yep. Finally got the balls up to come here and jump on.
If you do pay attention, you do follow us on the Winginit Motorsports social media, we'll see he's painted the 3 of our cars, actually.
Yeah.
Done a stellar job painting
Insane job.
It's not his forte. He does paint kitchens and stuff for a living.
Yep.
That's his bread and butter, which we'll also
sure.
get into soon. But I would actually like to go back to sort of the start. I think that's like something that everyone wants to sort of know and hear about.
Yeah.
So how you got into it, how you got into spray painting, where it all started for you, and
Well,
yeah,
hey,
take us on that journey.
yeah, mate. Well, my dad was always a panel beater. He's a mechanic by trade.
Yep.
Panel beater and spray painter. So had a shed at home, and I was like 7 years old. My brother was young as too. Like we're out there blocking back cars, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we sort of just picked it up from there, and then I did a shop fitting apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point they're like, "Oh, we need someone to spray. Like, can anyone spray?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can do it." And they're like laughing at me. I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." 16 years old in there, giving it a go, and did a good job. And then didn't finish my shop fitting apprenticeship off because I was too good at spray painting, I guess, and they just kept me in that industry for a while. And then left there about 2001. I was 18 and started Classic Lacquer, and started at Classic Lacquer as a spray painter, and sort of went.
And you started with your brother, with Mitch?
Well, I'm 8 years older than him, so I started there when I was 18 years old, started top coat, and then he sort of got to 14 years old, 15 years old, hated school, so I was like, yeah, sweet, I'll get you a job. Came work with me for a long time, and it was good, one, working with him. Mm-hmm. 2, we both just, he learned off me, I learned off him a little bit, we sort of come to the same agreement, it's sort of something you don't have to even look at someone to get something to happen.
You've got that brotherly connection.
100%. All right, lift it this way, we lift it this way. Paint it this way, we paint it this way. We're just both just switched on like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So
kind of
then-
know what each other's thinking or
100%.
Yeah.
And he grew up painting like me too. He was only 5 years old. He's still blocking back Kingswoods in the backyard. It was always Kingswoods, XYs, just shit like that. Always grew up like that. Just in the backyard.
Did you want to do cars at the start, or?
At the start, I just pretty much I love painting cars. The first car I painted was a HX Kingswood when I was 17 years old, in my backyard in the shed. So already back then I was this is what I love.
Yeah.
And then got into the kitchens, that's our bread and butter.
Yep.
That's what makes us afford another factory next door and do the fun shit where I get to paint cool cars and
So did you, when you were young and you had your dad was a mechanic and he had that shed, did he teach you how to rub back cars, block them and paint
100%, 100%.
So he took you through the whole process.
Oh yeah.
So he knew how to do it as well.
Too. Oh yeah. When I was super young too, even on my birth certificate it says spray painter I'm 1983. It says he was a spray painter. With all my kids it says spray painter. So I swear. Yeah.
Born with a trade.
100%. Yeah.
That's wicked.
But it's it was good because grew up learning that and a lot of mechanical shit as well. So
yeah.
And then, so you worked for Classic Lacquer before buying it for a long time, yeah?
Oh yeah. So I started in 2001 as a top coater there because, when I was doing a shop fitting apprenticeship, it sort of, they went bankrupt. I needed a job, knew how to spray, went there. As soon as they see me spray, I was instantly a top coater. Pretty much stayed there for ages. Got Mitch a job when he was old enough, and then when it came to COVID, our silent investor, which was, I was just still running the joint, painting. Mitch is doing a lot of stuff, and then he just, end of the world, COVID's, everything's finishing, blah, blah, blah. So he cut off all accounts, cut off everything, and me and Mitch just sort of came to agreement. I'm like, I've got 3 kids, I've got a mortgage. I'm like, I didn't really want to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was too much like, I got to be secure. I got to have the family in line. Mitchell's single. He's 8 years younger than me. He came up with the idea. I put all my super in. He got a loan.
Far out.
We just,
Wow.
pardon the pun, winged it. And honestly, just fucking started it.
There's a lot of that going on this couch. It's fine.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it just went fantastic from there.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Yeah.
it just blew up. Like, everyone already knew we already had a good relationship with all the customers and stuff like that. So they were all on board straight away. And then when they found out, like, me and Mitchell bought the company and owned it,
Yep.
they were even more on board. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
Sweet.
working
That's
7 days a week for a long time.
I guess
to
the joys
just try
of
to please
running your own
everyone.
business, yeah, like you gotta put in those hours that like not
Oh,
20
yeah.
people see. It's not a 9 to 5. It's a Saturday, Sunday, public holidays, like
All the time.
yeah,
Easter, like all over Easter, like, you know, actually, as soon as we bought it as well, like my poor kids, like they went through shit too. Like,
yeah,
there was no holidays, there was no Easters, there was dad at work 7 days a week. There was no me rocking up at
yeah,
the kids dancing or OzTag or anything like that. It was just
Yeah.
work, work, work. Provide for them, like, and it has
yeah. Provided for them.
been,
Yeah.
a
Yeah, like I know you
different
gave up.
experience,
You gave up your
100%.
Christmas and Easter, Christmas and New Year's to paint my car.
Yeah,
Which,
but
yeah, like obviously I'm like more than grateful for.
Yeah,
Like, I can't
yeah,
even
but-
put it into words, but like that's, I guess, yeah, like that's what happens.
yeah, no,
Like,
100%.
it's probably
Yeah,
happened a
no,
few
it's
times
the
before.
dedication, bro. It's
Yeah.
like I'm extremely keen on helping people out that I like, and
Yeah,
the dedication's there all the time.
yeah, yeah. That's
Customers as well, like, all our cabinet makers, same deal. I was there today painting a kitchen on a Sunday just to help a fella out because he's like, it'd help me out so much if you had this, I'll be able to get this in, the granite tops, blah, blah, blah. But that's what we're about.
good. Yeah, yeah, and then that'll bring them back next time as well.
100%.
Or they'll go and tell somebody else, like,
It's-
hey, we use Andrew.
100%.
Not that you want to do shit on a Sunday, but they'll tell them like, yeah, he'll bust his ass to get shit done.
100%. They
for
don't
you.
know I'm
yeah.
working on Sunday.
Yeah, okay.
They just know I'm
It'll get
fucking
done.
dedicated and I'll get it done.
Yeah,
And I'll
okay.
get it done on a Sunday. I'll sleep there on Friday night. Like, it don't matter.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
just get it done.
Dedication.
Yeah.
oh yeah, 100%, yeah.
It is for sure.
So is your dad the one that, from those early years, is that where your love of cars started? Like,
Oh,
have you always
100%.
had a love of cars? Like,
100%.
even though you weren't painting them and
But-
stuff, like you still had that love
Oh,
of cars.
super young. Like,
Yeah.
my dad, like, always Holden. We had a
That's good.
HJ, then a HX Kingswood.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first 2 cars that like, I grew up in. Then he did have a couple Cortinas, but whatever. Nah.
It's not a bad one to go.
No,
to,
no,
though.
no. No, that was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he was always into that with me, and like my first car was a VN, and I bought that in like
Wasn't
2001.
your first car a tonner?
My first car was a HX Kingswood.
Sorry.
Yeah. Did that. That's where I sort of learned how to paint too and do like fab work.
Okay.
Like that's when I was sort of like shit. I would have been 15. And just learning, but I was arc welding too, so I'm arc welding like the back of like try to tag in rust and shit like that. Like it was an absolute mission. But yeah, that was my first proper car. My first registered car was a VN.
Yeah.
It's
But
much like Damo, his first car was a tonner, but his actual first car was a VP Commodore.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. I said the same thing. Like everyone's like, "Oh, your Kingswood did your first car." I'm like, it was never registered though. Like I never
Oh,
drove
yeah,
it.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
class it as like your first.
Nah,
like, yeah.
it got sold before I got it on the road.
Yeah.
But the VN, that was sick. And then, if anyone knows, like I'm 40, so Parkland's Showgrounds was like the fucking spot to be. Like that was where all the burnouts was. Like that was all the show cars. So, oh man, I was going there when I was like 16 years old. I was taking my brother there when he was 8. Like our dad was away at that time, so yeah, I was just like his fucking, I guess, older brother mentor.
Yeah, you took on that.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
I just took him everywhere, every event, everything like that.
Yeah.
Nah, it was sick. Like the best burnouts there. Like that's sort of what got me
Fuck,
involved
yeah.
Yeah.
in that. I love drags too. Like I remember taking Mitch my brother when he was like 10 years old up to Winginit. Just
And have you always been in that Gold Coast area? Like,
Yeah,
is that home?
always,
for
always,
you?
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
right. Okay.
yep.
So you when you started working, your early childhood, it's
everything,
all
bro.
Gold Coast,
all
Gold Coast, like local.
All, yep.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
pretty much all Narang.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, grew up in the rank 4211.
Yeah,
for
so it's
life.
fitting that the shop come up like, or where your shop is, like it's
Yeah,
it's
well,
obviously
that's
fitting for
Burleigh.
you.
Our shop's in Burleigh, but
Yeah,
grew up in Narang, and and Dad was just always in cars. Like he's a mechanic by trade, so
yeah,
just learn a shitload from him.
yep.
So even like with my first car, like with the VN, I'm like, I went to Parklands once, and there was this one dude that was trying to, I don't know, break the world record for doughies. So donuts. So he had a, I don't know, I think it was a Corolla. He had a Buick in there. It had a twin throttle body manifold on it. I'm like fucking 18. I'm like taking a photo with the old like, disposable cameras to go take it to fucking Kmart and get it all printed out. Did that, went back. I was only 18. No YouTube, just fucking Gregory's car manual. Looked in, yep, sweet. Built a twin throttle body manifold, got it welded up by some lad, and that was back in 2001. So I was like,
While you're on that topic, how good are Buicks?
bro,
How good are
I swear to
Buicks?
God, I've
He
always
was
wanted...
itching to say that. You could see,
Yeah,
as soon as
yeah.
you mentioned it, he's
100%.
like, I'm in.
Well, I've always
Hey,
wanted
look, me and Damo both started with V6s, so
Once upon a time.
Well, that's the same as me. I'm 40. I've always wanted a V8. It was always my dream, but I've never had the financial capacity until now to actually build a car that I wanted.
Yeah,
And always back then I wanted to build a mad fucking Buick.
yeah.
So now I'm building a mad Buick.
Yeah, That's nice.
Which
Yeah.
you did, and you got to run it
Oh.
on the weekend just gone.
oh
Yep.
man, fucking yeah. At Fridays it was so good to see.
Friday's
you out
number
there.
12, the first
Twin day.
2
event.
day, Easter
Oh, it
long
was
weekend.
amazing. It was so
Blast.
good. Like,
How-
the
how was
whole
that?
family.
Yeah, how was that?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, a whole family event. Like, how was that for you? Like, from
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm still buzzing from it.
Yeah. And it was your own car, your own painted car, like everything.
Oh,
like,
it was insane.
Yeah.
It's different being on the other side of the fence.
yep.
So
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
helping and support you guys out. Like I love being in the pits and we've done a power skid, we need to change tires. I
Yeah.
love racing back. I love helping with roll, like my son. Just
Yeah.
change tires, stuff like that. Like I love that. I love the whole side of that.
Yep.
But being on the other side of the fence
Yeah. Again, with your own car. Yeah.
was a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole family in there for the first ride. Like I wanted Damo and Ryan in for the first ride because they fucking gave me the motivation to actually get it going.
Yeah.
But oh man,
Yeah,
it
it's
was-
moments like that you won't. Yeah, like you can't take back. Like you
No,
have a
even my
family,
kids
your
now,
wife and your kids.
They're
stuff
still
in it,
even today on the way up here. My daughter, 17-year-old daughter, sent me a message going, "Make sure you tell them how fucking absolutely mad the weekend was."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you guys finished the engine at 11 o'clock that night,
Yeah.
and it was put on a trailer at
That's-
6 o'clock in the
Hey,
morning.
that's nothing, dude. We had 2 days to go till the event, bro. That's fucking plenty of time, man. That's fucking,
Oh,
that's
man.
40 more hours than we usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's more time than I have
Yeah.
to paint your car. So
Well,
shit.
yeah. I was gonna say, well, there's events where we get to the event, like now we'll finish the car off that we're at the event. Now we've got like more time because it's like 6 hours on the road or whatever. Like
Yeah, 100%.
And going
get to
into
Mackay
it-
and put car like you spent the whole
Oh,
night in
God.
Mackay the night before the event trying to get it sorted.
Oh,
Still, like
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
No, the day of. Like
That
it was,
was-
it was the Friday, and I was still using Cherry's hoist at fucking 1 p.m. or whatever it was.
Yeah, fish and
Yeah.
chip.
trying to get it
Drift.
sorted.
Shout
Joel,
out Fish
yeah.
and Drifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What up, Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was a legend. Like first Commodore on his hoist.
First and last.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked for
fuck.
you. Like being able to go to Fridays.
Oh fucking oath, man. That was
Like the track
fantastic.
time. I saw you out in the track heaps.
I-
And we all got to cruise on the track together too, which is
Oh, that
insane.
was-
Like that was cool.
I can't wait for this video to go up. It's gonna be
Nah,
pretty good.
it was
Yeah.
honestly that made it for me too.
Yeah.
Like driving around, I've got fucking Winginit, Eco Boost, Pinky, fucking
Twinkie.
Cuddles.
Twink. Cuddles.
The Skyline, which
I
we
got-
don't really talk about, but it was there.
Sky,
Nah.
super looking thing.
Nah,
Cool
only because
looking
he was
thing.
like just slaying me every time, and you guys were like being nice and letting me like beat you on purpose to like film it. Not Miles. No, he was like later, dude.
Yeah.
It was the first time for both of us to have
I know,
cameras on.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
fantastic.
Shout out to Miles too. It was so good to see him out on the track, man. So
Yeah.
many years,
Oh,
so
yeah.
many late nights.
For those of you that can't
Fuck,
see
finally
it, Miles
paid
is
off, man.
producing this episode. He's
100%.
sort of behind the camera.
And he
but
helped out a lot for me too, like to
Yeah.
get
to get it
Oh,
there.
that
yeah,
week
drove up
lead
to
up,
Brisbane
we
and bought all my
fucking
parts and like
pretty much didn't sleep.
The hype man.
yeah.
I think that's a good
absolutely
thing too,
unreal.
like-
I'm stoked.
Especially
What-
with this group, like everyone chips in together. Like we use the tilt tray to take some cars out there. Like,
Oh
you know,
yeah,
we
I've-
can help out that way. Then you can help out
100%.
doing your
Big-
thing. Everyone helps out doing the thing they can, and everyone gets there.
Oh, I felt guilty
Everyone
the
has
whole weekend.
fun,
Everyone's everyone's bragging about me on painting their cars and everything like that. But I do that with, except for Miles. Miles is the next one in line, 100%.
getting there.
100%.
Yeah, like
No,
this
but,
nice
I
pink,
mean,
like
I
a pink
do
Skylander,
this
right?
out of, like,
Yeah.
with nothing. I don't want nothing in return. So,
Yeah.
when you guys are helping me out, I feel guilty. Like, you know, towing my car out there, towing
definitely
it
not.
back, like...
all good.
It's
I'm
all-
looking
it's
at buying a
all-
car trailer now, just
Yeah.
so...
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know
Part of
you
the
guys
love, man.
don't care, but I know.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, we
And
just
like
love
my
it.
family-
You
Love
buy a
having
car
everyone
trailer
out
and you
there.
make friends real quick.
yeah, I bet, yeah. Couple cartons,
Everyone-
you
yeah,
hire,
yeah.
nice.
Like,
But nah, it's a group that everyone like helps out. Like everyone's got the way they can help out, and everyone's willing to do that, and that's what makes it such a good group. Like no
100%.
one's owed anything. Everyone does what they can do. Yeah, some things like are different. Like I'm not really mechanically minded, so I can't build an engine. But Dame will teach me how to do it. But then it's like, oh, I can help out with a tilt tray, or like you can help out with paint, or
100%.
like everyone's got their thing. We all help out. There's no you helped
Shout
out
out
more
A to
percentage
B
than I
toes.
helped out, or whatever. Like
Hey,
it's,
yeah, bloody oath.
yeah, like it is what it is. Everyone just does what they need to do, and we all get there and we all have fun. And
And I respect it too. Like, you know, I know you boys that know a lot more about engines than me, but I'm like, okay, like with the alternator, I'm like, what's going on? Like, I
Yeah.
had a few little problems and whatnot, but just learning, like even Ryan, gearbox problems. No one understands.
just a couple of gearbox
Oh
problems.
my god! Yeah, even Damo, like, oh jeez.
Yeah.
I guess you'll get to that, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's all in.
I just want
Like-
to say,
Yeah.
like, going into the weekend, man, like, it was a last minute rush getting Andrew's car there, tension. But we knew going into it, the car's built for boost. It's built for an M90, and it's actually got a boost reference carby on it. So we knew going into it, it wasn't going to set the world on fire. It's not built to be NA, but
yeah.
it had its fair share of dramas. But he got out
It
there, he did what he
really
wanted to do. But
Yeah, it
in all
wasn't many.
seriousness,
It was
that he
insane.
got to race a fair few V6 Commodores out there, and he was leaving them in the dust.
And still chop them. Yeah,
He was literally
Yeah.
stuck in second gear,
Yeah.
and
Still chopping them.
he had
Yeah.
like because it was stuck in second gear. It's got 308 gears. Like, it's built for burnouts. It's not set up correctly at the
Yeah.
moment. We
And
just
it's
did
built
what
for
we got
boost.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But like even then, like, it was stuck in second gear with the 308s, and it was fucking lugging along pretty good, revving it
Yeah.
out to $7,000 quite
Yeah,
often.
$7,000.
but that's
Doing
true.
pretty
When it
well,
starts
man.
to Dow float, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
also-
it's only got the old cheap Mace single spring, so it probably was valve floating up high.
Oh, yeah,
But that
no
also
doubt,
shows
no
you
doubt.
the like how good Fridays as an event is. It's not just a burnout event.
Not
you
at
can have
all.
someone
He-
who's
he
testing
did-
a car out.
Oh,
He
yeah.
did
But-
nothing but cruise the whole
Yeah.
weekend, and
100%.
I've never seen him so happy in
Yeah.
his life. And all he did was
It
cruise
was-
the whole
How
weekend.
much E85 did you say you went through? Like
$220 worth at
Yeah.
least.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just
In a
tuned it
car
all
that wasn't
weekend.
really set up for that, but
yeah.
you still get to take your family in. You still get to drive around and do bulk laps. You still get to lap with all of us. Like,
I'm kicking myself that he didn't get to do a burnout, but he had the opportunity. And
I
he
did.
He didn't take
But
it.
I pushed out. I did.
Yeah.
And I could have done it then too, because no one would be watching me, and that's
Yeah,
where I
yeah.
like. I was like, I should have tested it out. then,
Should have
but-
gone out with Miles, man. That was so
I know.
fun.
Oh, Miles fucking slowed it. yeah.
yeah, I mean,
killed
put that blower on it, and yeah, Miles got some competition on those straights.
Oh man,
That's
if,
right, brother.
if my car's anything to compare, I've got a good feeling Andrews is going to make fucking considerable amounts of power out of that little
Revving
Buick.
so hard, like
If anyone likes how my car can perform, I think old Andrew's tension. It's going to do pretty similar once that M90's on it and it's tuned and set up correctly. It's going to
Yeah,
be
it's gonna be sick.
going to be quite the little
Yeah.
six banger. I can
Yeah.
fucking
Fuck
guarantee
yeah, for
it.
sure.
No, I'm willing to go all out. The best thing about it as well, like being on the track for the first time, like I didn't do a burnout. I tried to drift it a couple of times. Yeah, I spun it out and whatnot.
I think we all lived that
yeah,
corner.
yeah.
I think.
it was still
maybe
so
not
much
you.
fun.
Hey, no.
Sammy is.
Nah,
No,
not you
Ryan's
either.
the
Oh.
only one that didn't lube
Nah,
it.
And me.
He didn't either.
Us Stockham boys, man, we just got that it factor.
I'm sure Damien spun it once.
I went around and
No,
I saw like your dad
Not
was
that
standing
event.
there, and I saw like I think your dad was there, Brett was there, and I was like, oh, everyone's there watching. I was like, yeah, I've never drifted this corner like a corner at all. I'll give it a crack. Back to first, stood on it, just went around. I was like, that was not it, and it's also embarrassing in front of everyone. And then I pissed off, sort of like towel between my legs, come back around, and then I got back to the miles down. I'm like, the group's growing, and I was like, now I'll like on the brake more and like get it going. But
That's what most-
that's what Fridays is about too. Like you can do that sort of shit. Like
And that's
There's
something most
so
people
much
don't
time.
most people don't realize about, especially like Craig, is that he's a burnout guy first and foremost. He doesn't actually, so power skids,
yeah,
he's fucking rarely done it. Actually, like getting around sideways around
Yeah.
the corner, like he's never done it before, and he's out there and he's having a crack. That's why Fridays is the best place to actually learn
yeah.
because
So good.
I personally haven't seen Craig do a power skid up until Fridays, and then on the main straight he's just fucking.
Slang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they give you that opportunity to do it, but they also, like, so when I looped it, I back straight off, and then, like, sort of, so that way you're not into it, like, still when you're looping, which we
Yeah.
all know is going to produce a mass amount of smoke. And they say to you in the driver briefing,
It's in
like,
the driver's briefing.
if it does happen, just back off, and then
Dude.
and then you can peel out and then keep going.
You're allowed to loop it. The thing
Yeah.
is, try your absolute best to keep it off the grass. If you know you're going to loop it, get out of the throttle entirely so that if you don't smoke the joint out, and if
Yeah.
you do go onto the grass, you don't rut the fuck out of it.
That's
Yeah.
I seen the same bloke loop it like maybe 7 times in a row right in front of our camp and not even having a dig. He was having a crack, man, but like
Yeah.
he looped it 7 times, but he did the correct thing.
Yeah.
He didn't get pulled off the track. He didn't
Yeah.
get in trouble.
Yeah.
That was old mate too, and then shout out to him too because he was a fucking legend.
Yeah,
He
man,
wants to
he-
catch up with the Winginit boys next time.
Yeah.
No friends.
You
no
know who
nothing.
you know who you are, man.
Yeah, brother. He only came out there with his missus the whole weekend. He only wanted to practice. He only
Yeah.
first time ever driving an LS. Like he was a legend.
Yeah.
I spun it in front of him too. And
Honestly,
like, it
and-
bogged down, but I didn't have the power to like power out. I wouldn't have anyway.
Yeah.
Like because of
I saw the video.
event.
Yeah, the video when you looped it. Like, I think you and Ryle were just laughing.
Oh, well,
Like,
laughing.
that's
I
what
was
it's
just
about.
That's
happy
what it's
that-
all about,
I
man.
was just happy
That's what
that I
it's all
pulled up
about.
in the right spot. Like I'm like, sweet. So if it was on the straight, like you guys doing the demo session,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd be able to do a burnout and keep going.
Yeah. Nah,
But-
it's definitely the event for that sort of stuff.
What? Yeah. While we're on that,
We
man,
just pass
shout,
the waters around so we
he's
stay
so-
hydrated.
shout out to Ryan
Yeah.
Cobb and the Friday
Yeah,
staff.
definitely.
What
Oh,
an absolute
they're
fantastic
fantastic.
event. If you guys
Yeah.
haven't heard, or if you're looking for an event for just all out track time, highly recommend it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Do it for sure.
absolutely phenomenal.
it's-
I can't get over it, man.
Yeah.
I was kidding myself thinking 5 sets of brand new tires was going to last me.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
I
it took that.
struggled.
Like,
I was
that
out
small
half the
amount.
weekend with gearbox dramas, and I still killed all my tires and
Yeah.
went through maybe 200 litres of ethanol.
I had
Yeah,
to
I went-
purposely not
Yeah,
go out.
Phenomenal
So
event.
I had to purposely not go out to save
Yeah.
tyres. I
Yeah,
still
a
spent
couple times. Yeah,
like
yeah.
$520 in the 85.
Yeah, I went through.
Oh my
Sandy, man.
god.
Kieran and I went through $800 of methanol, which is like 2 big drums, like between us.
Yeah.
But he only did like 4 or 5 laps and 1 demonstration skid. There was probably 4 track events that I didn't purposely go in because I was running out of tires and we were short on fuel. I was like, yeah. So for the next Fridays, we'll bring way more tires, way more fuel. Like I'm gonna fill my tilt tray up with fucking drums to bring. Like,
Yeah.
it's just you can't. There's no event in this country you can drive that much.
No.
It's
Like,
it's
and even the
ridiculous,
family
yeah.
cruise events. Like I took a couple of like young kids out there, like fans of like our whole group and everything. Like, can we just come for a drive? I'm like, yeah, you get
Yeah.
to do that as
And
well.
shout out to that young
Like-
kid Noah.
Yeah.
First
Shout out
time
Noah.
I ever had tension out on the track, and I signed my first autograph. What a, like fucking Hollywood over here. I felt like Hollywood. I couldn't believe it.
No,
Like
it's the
Marcel's
best
like,
feeling.
Andrew,
It's the
come
best
over
feeling.
here. Someone wants to see you. I'm like, uh-oh.
I live for that, man. That's
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
I see him
Oh.
and I just look at myself when I was that age, man.
100%.
I love that stuff,
Yep.
man.
I didn't
And
think I had the guts to go and ask someone for that. And then, like,
I
someone comes and
wouldn't
asks
have
me, and
that
I'm like,
age,
I'm
no
like, why are you
way.
asking me? Like, I'm just a regular Joe. And they're
he
like,
asked,
my
he
God.
asked my brother Justin for an autograph. He doesn't even have a car.
Amanda gave him an autograph.
Yeah,
My wife,
but, like-
because we gave him a free T-shirt.
Yeah, but
Classic Lacquer one.
That's,
Someone-
I
That's
just,
awesome.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
He came, like, his mum came up too, like, what a legend as well, like.
Yeah.
yeah.
His mum, like, old mate had ADHD. She's a single mum. She came to the event, Friday's
Yeah.
event.
And
She
camped
knew-
out there.
Yep,
She-
she knew it was like a comfortable event for the family.
Yeah.
She went there the whole weekend just with her son and her daughter. That's the only thing that
I
calmed him
think
down.
Noah was with us
And-
for
Yeah.
like 8 hours straight, man. His mum was just entrusted. He's like, yeah, man, they're sweet. Like,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I-
Miles,
like 100%,
Like,
like,
everyone took him
100%,
for a
yeah.
drive, and she
we
even
took
came
him out
up-
on the track multiple times, man. Like,
Yeah, we're all family people. Like, we all
Craig's
love it.
about to
And-
be a dad. Damo's a dad.
Yeah.
Andrew's a dad. Miles is probably a dad.
just doesn't know about it. Yeah, I signed my first shoe. Like, this kid walked up and he's like,
Oh, yeah, I remember
he's like,
that.
man, he looked at his clothes and he's like, you could tell he's like, "Fuck, I don't want you to sign my clothes. And he's like, took his shoe
Legend.
off. Oh no, he goes, can you sign my shoe? And I think it was Miles goes, you got to take it off for him. So like, kicked his shoe off and I signed like, the inside of the arch here, and I like signed that and I looked at someone, I was like, this is the first, but yeah, like I signed someone's shoe and like he slipped it on and off he ran. Like, yeah, nothing surprising now. Like, it's
Mate,
crazy. to do that sort of stuff.
When I was going to, you would have seen the video, but when I was going to scrutineering with Ryan, and he's like, yeah, just drive your car. And he's filming me. I couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
I was like, just,
Oh, they would have seen the video by the time this
Didn't
comes
know where
out.
you were
Oh,
going.
man.
I think he yelled out like,
yeah, he goes,
Yeah.
oh, where's the scrutineering? I said, I don't know where anything is right now. I was biting my hand. I was just so fucking excited.
He put that clip on his story, and bloody like Jake Myers replied to it, and he sent me a
Yeah.
screenshot. It's like, so awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Nah, legend.
and now you're in that, like, now you're in this group,
Oh.
like you can't, like,
Shout out Myers,
That's
boys.
it. It only gets bigger and better from here, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's a freight train just straight up too. Like, it gets
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Put that
No.
blower
The
on and
next
have
time
more
you
fun with
see-
your family and like
Oh,
do a skid or
God,
whatever.
yeah.
Or, yeah,
the
even
next
just
time you
driving
see
around,
old
man.
tension out there, it's going to be pretty insane.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, tension is the green VS wagon.
VR.
VR.
Oh, VR, sorry.
VR.
VR.
Buick, mate.
So,
Buick for
I
life.
don't know.
Right.
I know the earlier girls, and that's it. But which Andrew painted by himself. Like, yeah, it's a schmick paint job too, man. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looks so good.
And
Looks
not
so
and
good.
to give Andrew credit, he had this entire setup before we even were mates. He had this entire setup in his head, and he was working towards doing the M90 carbide Buick. Even before we knew him, he had the motor built, but we got in his ear. We're like, rightio, it's literally an unopened stock bottom end Buick. He just rammed a cam in dry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're like,
Damo said that.
we
He's like,
stripped,
what the fuck, dude?
we stripped it. We did the old Winginit special. Didn't look at the cam bearings. Fucking gapped the rings. Put some studs in it. Put some springs in it.
75 pounds of oil
It's
pressure.
the only thing.
Hey,
Even
it's got more oil pressure than anyone in the fleet, I think.
Yeah, man, I'm cracking like 63, 64.
This thing's on 75 idle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, far out.
It says 145,000 on the odometer, but it stopped a while ago. But
Do that old trick with the drill, like wind it back.
Yeah,
just to make
yeah, I
yourself
should've.
feel better. Yeah.
So on to the next question. We'll do 2 and 1. What's the give us a quick rundown on the process of painting a car. And would you like to transition into doing more cars in the future and step away from doing the kitchens, or are you like your bread and butter? You're just going to stay with doing what you're doing, and you're just going to squeeze in the odd Winginit car or customer car
100%.
here and there.
100%.
Yeah.
Bread and butter's cabinet making.
Yep.
So if you're a cabinet maker from Yatla to Tweed, hit us up. Like 100%.
Classic Lacquer GC on the Gold Coast.
100%.
In Burleigh.
Like we honestly do the best job. I grew up painting cars, but our bread and butter, like from 2001, it's always been like just kitchens, shop fitting, stuff like that. I love painting cars. Little black arm fella. I love painting cars. So it's like my hobby more than it is, and a passion more than it is like our bread and butter. So we work hard to get the cabinet making work in to be able to afford a factory next door so we can do this. So, I mean, if Mick Fry hit me up and went, man, like I just, fucked my side up, I need a hand, can you please help me out? Well, I'm helping him out straight away.
Yeah.
Like,
But you
Like
can't really give up the
But
cabinet
I'm-
making side of it. Like,
no.
it's just, yeah.
I rather do like a job for, the normal person with a kitchen than just a Kia that's just had a front end smash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that's not very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
these
Well, yeah,
He's
set
after
up,
the
you know,
he's after the 6x6s and the VS Commodore.
I love challenges, bro. I really love
Well,
challenges.
you're probably not
like,
set up to do like the normal
we don't
stuff
have the,
either.
We don't have the panel beating
Yeah.
like technique to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, the proper
Yeah.
materials to do
Yeah,
that.
like if something rolls in fairly straight, like you could do
Yeah,
it.
100%.
But
Even
also you
though-
want that excitement where it's
But
like,
even though Damo and Ryan's car came in pretty fucked after rocking mats, we still managed to do that and
Yeah.
they're straight as a dime.
yeah, yeah,
So we can do it.
yeah. But you're not,
it's
like the panel beat is set up to panel beat and
100%.
paint.
It's like having the tools for the right job. Like we've
Yeah.
just got an SP toolbox, like the best one, and just being able to work on cars with the right tools for the right job
Yeah,
is fantastic. It saves you so much time. We just don't have that
Yeah.
in the car industry.
because you're not a panel beating
100%.
paint
Yeah,
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we grew up painting cars.
I mean, they
like-
did pretty fucking well. If you had seen the VS, man, it was pretty munted after the old Rocky Nats incident. And these
Oh, yeah,
boys,
yeah.
with absolutely no, well, I'm going to say no panel beating experience because I was there helping them, and the fucking quarter panel was fucking. This is the boot, and the quarter panel was over here, man. Like it was.
Yeah.
The whole car, the whole arse end was fucked, man.
Yeah.
And these boys, literally, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like when I took it out to Mackay after the respray, I had multiple people come up to me and said, "Nah, man, you've reshelled this. Like,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no way it's this straight and this clean again." And I'm like, "We'll believe it, man."
Yeah.
That's mad to hear, bro, because like I said, our bread and butter's like kitchens. That's all after hours. Like that fully comes first. Like the kitchens always come first. Like we dedicate all our time and hours to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Get that done as like that, and everything else is after hours. That was very satisfying.
Yeah.
Like it's a satisfying jobs that sort of
Yeah.
like, you know.
You get like an accomplishment from it. 'Cause like, hey, we
100%.
straightened this thing from where it
Definitely.
was. We
Yep.
we got it. Yeah.
Even like Damo's car, like same deal. Like it was, we were fucking.
I was remember he went to Summernaps and destroyed it. And like the first kid, you're like,
Yeah.
Say it's been painted twice. Yeah.
You can't.
He rolled into
fucking
Summernaps.
three, man.
it rolled in
done it
looking
twice.
great. It rolled in looking
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And then he went and skidded. And everyone's like, oh man. Like,
But then he came up with those like mad ideas with like the little plates to protect the back end. That was pretty cool.
They're doing well. They got to
bash
refine
plates.
them a bit. Yeah, because there's still that little section that's getting.
The damage that's on
And
Damo's
flicking up
car
to the-
is from transporting it to Mackay with the big tires on it.
oh,
it was
alright.
bouncing on the. It literally it's
Yeah,
popped.
it's because I didn't roll the guy. I welded
Yeah.
a new flare in there, and I didn't think
And
about rolling
and
the
there
card.
was one little crack in the flare. We wanted to weld the flare as well.
Yeah.
We didn't have time. We had to throw a bog in there. So
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
remember.
cut that back
Yeah.
out one day.
but,
I remember-
Oh yeah, we'll redo that.
Damo's car, I think the next stage with his is he's got it sweet, but
Yeah.
we just need to cut the quarters out again, put some fresh ones in,
100%.
respray
Get out all
it,
the old
roll
bog
the
from-
guards, and then it's sweet. Like,
At least I won't be bashed in anymore.
well, he's
little
proven
mini
he's
tub job
proven
or
it with
something.
these slap protectors
100%.
work. The only thing that
Shorten the diff a bit.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you
Even
guys
legal.
painted.
we had 20 mil.
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, you can go legal like to the rails. So
Yeah.
like it can still be.
I was
which is
trying to
what-
stuff with the suspension. I'm only
Yeah.
I worked out about like 15 mil, something like that,
Yeah.
15, 20 mil, which will, it's still a lot.
Help a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it still
remember-
brings tire.
That's what people
Yeah.
don't understand when tubbing cars and shit. You fuck with the whole geometry of the arse end.
Yeah,
Like Kieran
Damo at
says,
the moment, he knows it hooks up, it runs fucking high
Yeah.
turns at the track. Like it's
so you
just
know
do
how it's going to
anything.
so
react.
if you as
Yeah.
soon as you tub it and you change where the shockies are and how shit's mounted, you
just
don't know if it's gonna
coilovers
hook
and
up
everything,
or-
and
Yeah.
Which is
I,
what
just,
yeah.
I like the factory style.
with your car, man. That's
Yeah.
probably why with Pinky, it's probably why it's a little bit hard to fucking swing it around corners because you have no arse end. It's fucking
Yeah.
it's basically.
But I
solid.
also learnt from like I built that car before I started doing burnouts. So
Yeah.
like I've learnt in that car. So
Yeah.
I only know that
Yeah.
car.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know what it's
yeah.
like to have a like a full length diff.
we fucking
Or-
didn't do what we were supposed to do.
and swap. I just
and
thought
swap
about yeah.
fucking keys. Me
Yeah,
and
I know,
fucking
keep
Pinky
saying
were
it,
supposed to do it,
everybody
but
needs
we
it.
got
we
rained
will
out.
do that.
Yeah,
but
we
like yeah,
keep-
so I don't know. So I haven't gone from like say a setup like yours, like your stock suspension, your diff and everything,
Yeah.
to a tubbed car and go, oh, this is different. I've only ever known that.
I can't
Yeah.
wait.
So like, I'm sure if you went to mine, you'd be like, oh, this is way
if
different.
the opportunity's
Yeah,
still there,
definitely.
man, I cannot
yeah.
wait to skid you.
Oh,
a
the
car.
next Friday or something, man. We'll swap. For
I
sure.
cannot
Fucking wait till you
wait.
drive tension. Fuck you.
I want someone to fucking.
Yeah.
I want someone to skid old EcoBoost. I want them to tell me whether I'm fucking just dreaming.
Gotta keep-
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you're just fucking a wheel
I'm
man.
happy to do it. I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy for anyone to drive mine because you're not going to treat it any worse than I already have. And I feel
100%.
like touch wood, like it ain't going anywhere.
I'm
Like,
the
that
same with-
slapper.
I'm the
It's-
same with my car, man.
Yeah,
There's-
the slapper's solid.
yeah,
Like,
I could throw the keys at anyone and be like, as long as you literally don't just hold the cunt fucking
Yeah.
flat for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
we're sweet. Like,
that's what I'm. Yeah, you can
have a
hold-
little bit
yeah.
of mechanical sympathy for it, and there's nothing.
I say
you
that,
can
but then
do
there's,
that I
I'm
can't.
sure
like
people
that.
pop up videos and be like, "Well, you limited bashed it for a while." I'm like, "Yeah, that's true."
Man,
but like, you know, like,
that Friday video where it was a while ago now, but on your judge scorecard, it literally just said limiter
Limiter,
in
yeah.
all capitals. That was,
I was just-
fucking
and-
the best.
and I
today.
knew it doing it because
He went into it. He's like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna feed this fucking
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
like years and years ago, I hated it. I was like, I don't understand why people do it. And now that I've got an engine, I'm like, and it was just a slap, and I'm like, I'll just treat it mean, and I do. And now in my head, I'm like, oh man, you're doing something you never said you'd do, which is just limiter bash something.
I think it.
And then I'm like, like it is what it is.
I think
like,
it has its place, but I'm
Yeah.
old school like that too. I
Yeah.
think nothing beats like leave the limiter at home. I
Yeah.
think nothing beats a strong,
High
clean
rev.
burnout.
Yeah.
Like I come from back where fucking back in the burnout days where it was just 308s and Clevos and shit. They didn't have limiters. They
Yeah.
just fucking rev the cunts, man.
Yeah.
Like,
But then
But-
Damo's
definitely.
never going to win anything because he's like Lynchy. Damo can't control himself.
Yeah.
Damo would win every fucking prize, I reckon.
There's
I
no
need
throttle
more
control over
yeah.
there
He's
at
just
all.
fucking crazy.
Have you seen
Oh, I'm
that?
trying. It's just fucking.
Are ya?
The cunt
Look, it
just
doesn't
wants to
sound like it.
fucking.
No,
the cunt's just,
Ryle was
I'm like
in his
big
car.
toe.
Ryle was in the car on the
Cow
demo.
Fest.
And he's like,
Oh no, on the. Oh, sorry, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Everyone of Ryle's mates, everyone, like, he works at the butcher's.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen the footage of you doing, like, the demo on the skid.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, on the main straight. Fucking hell, they're like, he did like 120k tip in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Like, yeah,
that late
it's
Arvo
pretty-
one.
Like
Yeah,
a
we
720,
just
like,
we
coming
just
out
got
of
the gearbox in. That was fucking. I just come out
That was
pissed
the
and
first
just
test.
fucking got into it. Yeah.
What the
Old,
And nothing
old-
nothing beats an angry skid.
Nah.
Or even
Oh,
an angry
Mr.
demo.
that's-
like-
Yeah, that's angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How many?
Exactly,
so
bro.
like, sorry to cut everyone off. How many? When did you put the L98 in the VB?
Oh fucking.
4
It's
years
like
ago.
5 years ago.
So
Yeah, it
other
had to
than
be
the
5 years
other
ago,
than the
easy, yeah.
gearbox, which he put in an unknown gearbox, it started slipping rah rah rah. That was sweet. But other than that, this just past Fridays is literally the first time in 5 years Damo has actually ever had a drama with the car.
Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
the most consistent thing out
5
there.
fucking
Like,
years, and guess what? Out of all the things that could have gone wrong, it was a fucking convertible.
Yeah.
All three.
All three.
Well, yeah.
You know what I
It was
mean?
all
But
of
like,
them, but yeah,
Yeah.
still.
he's still got this motherfucker's still got a 10-bolt Salisbury in the RCM.
An unopened GM.
Unopened GM
Yeah.
L98, like he's literally living
Yeah.
every
And it just goes converter bolts,
100%.
went, see ya.
And then through
We're
them
checking
in, he
it
got
out.
4th place in the burnouts.
Yeah.
And props
against
off
the
to second
against the
place
big
as well.
boys.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
yeah, that was killer.
But that was, even that
You
was
know,
like you're busting your ass
That was
to try
an
and get
hour
there.
before
Oh.
you had to compete.
If I
yeah, it was like a cup. Yeah, it was like late Arvo session,
if
and
I
my gut dropped. I thought it was the fucking diff. I just stabbed it next to fucking.
Well,
I think
we-
Miles loosened something. He got scared.
I heard it.
Yeah.
I was sitting at camp and I was watching. I rang Damo like as it happened. I rang him. I'm like, was that diff? And he's like, I don't know, man, but it was bad. And I'm like, I fucking heard it. It was a pretty big.
When it
bang.
went
Well,
into
it
park, I was like, yeah, okay. Well, everything from the gearbox back is still intact.
It's still going? Yeah.
Well, my daughter rang me. She was in the family cruise with you.
Yeah, I took
She's
mum and
12.
your
Because it was
daughter.
family. Yeah, 'cause
She's
you-
like ringing me going, can you please ring Damo to see if everything's okay? I just heard it being bang. I don't know what's going on.
when I was watching and I
laughing.
heard it because it was against the Skyline. I think I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I was
He,
saying.
like,
yeah.
it sounded like, because Damo's done it a few times, sounded like he clicked neutral and then went to go back to fucking third. That's what it sounded like. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I've
oh,
done that. I've
what
done that
did
on
he
the
do?
pad
What did
before.
he
That's
do?
what I
Yeah.
thought too, yeah.
And then he
100%.
pulled straight over and like stopped and pulled straight over. I'm like, it's done a diff. It's done a diff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you
no.
think like mine
Or
is
we
right
thought
gear.
tail shaft.
Yeah.
I thought diff. I
Yeah.
thought diff because it's just
Yeah.
still a 10-bolt. The tail shaft is sweet. The gearbox is sweet. Well, now
Yeah, I
it is.
put my head under and couldn't see the tail shaft. I was like, well, it's still up there.
I
And it
seen
is-
you open the door and he's having a look down. I'm like, this cunt.
But in that
Nothing on the ground.
moment, like your brain just goes from the number plate at the front to the number plate at the back and goes somewhere in here. What have you done? You've done this. And
Oh,
you're
fuck
going
yeah.
like,
He
you're
called
like,
it.
nah, I've still got
He
gears,
called it,
or
man.
like I
He-
don't have
before-
gears, or my
Yeah.
engine's
Oh,
still
Damo
revving.
would-
Before he
Or
got
like-
put, while he was being towed off, I think whoever was in the car with him,
Yeah.
he related. He's like, I think it's convertible. He got towed off, and I've
Yeah,
I've
okay.
got the film. He had the phone in his hand. He's like, rah rah rah, did this, whatever, and then he crawled under the car, and you can hear him. He's like just sitting there, and he just starts chuckling to himself, and he's like,
Yeah.
because he just knew straight away.
But-
It's like, oh, convertible. So I
Yeah.
can fix this
Just
so
spin
easy.
the
Yeah,
converter
yeah.
in there.
And then shout out to fucking all the boys like around camp
Wait,
as well. Like
I'm,
they all
I'm
wanted
sorry
to whip
if
out their
yeah,
transmission
sorry
to
if we
give him-
can't remember your name, but the guys camping
Oh.
next to
Yeah.
us, you guys are fucking legends. You actually made our weekend so much better. Just
Because
by
did they
being-
raid gearboxes for your spaces or?
No, so
Or your
it was
bolts.
actually it was crazy. So the way my converter is, it's a small one, but they've got a ring welded onto the usual feet to come out to the. I don't know, it's just the setup. It just brings it out. Anyway, it's got like, so it makes it so it's a solid ring instead of the 3 feet like usual.
Yeah. Okay.
So when all the bolts snapped, every bolt and every spacer stayed in the flywheel.
yeah,
Like,
right, okay.
so everything stayed there. So the spacers are still there. But then the guys next to us, he was like, I'll go pull my converter bolts out. I'll go do this. Well, I was like, oh, well, do yours have spacers? He's like, nah. I was like, oh, they're not going to be long enough. So we're going through shit. Anyway,
Oh,
end,
yeah.
end of the story. His bell housing bolts are in my converter right now.
Jesus.
What a fucking legend.
That's nuts.
See how good the community is,
That's-
though?
yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
what really, like, I
Yeah.
love about
He was
it.
willing
Like,
to just rip his car apart. He's
Yeah.
like, what do you need?
He was like,
Right.
yeah.
That was fucking
Yeah, that's
just,
crazy.
yeah.
He was stoked. Like,
Those,
I
yeah,
love.
those
I don't know
legends.
about you guys, but I love the burnout family.
Oh,
I love the whole scene.
man, people rip
all
out
good
anything
people.
I
like
Yeah,
have
yeah.
met some
I
of the
remem-
most nicest, genuine people
Yeah,
in the
in the
burnout,
burnout
scene.
scene.
I've met some fuckwits too, but like I've met some of the most
Yeah. There's
There's
genuine.
more
many.
Shout out
positive
to-
than
no.
negative.
There is the positive outweighs the negative fucking 90 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
Man, there's a photo from Rocky Nats last year of Bubba with Or Watt and Kev Davis with EPO who runs like Tropical Meltdown.
Yeah.
Kev Davis split his fuel cell.
this was a while ago. I know what
And,
you're talking about.
yeah, like
now,
last year or the year before.
Nah, I think this was Rocky Nuts 1.
Oh,
Because Bubba was still
split
NA.
it, and then split his fuel cell, so he couldn't compete. There's a photo of Bubba running across the pits with a
With
fuel
his
cell
fuel
on
cell.
his
He's got
shoulder
a 60 litre or 80 litre fuel cell on his
Run-
fucking
man,
shoulder,
running across
walking
the
across the
flats
pits like
to
King.
give it to Kev.
Fucking love it.
They dropped it in, they filled it up, and he went and competed in the finals.
Fucking oath.
And it's like one of the best things ever is you see Bubba with this big fuel cell on his shoulders, being like, just have mine because like I'm not competing. You can just have my fuel cell.
That's
And
what
it's like,
everyone's like,
but if you watch other motorsports and stuff, they don't seem to do that. Like they're competitive to a T, whereas we are like, yeah, we're all competing against each other, but it's
But then
like,
you all come together.
yeah,
to
if
make
my
sure
car's
everyone's
broken,
like
or
a like a
if
big
I'm out of the
family,
finals
for
and you're
sure.
in, yeah, take whatever you need
Oh,
off mine or
100%.
whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
I love competing like
Ryan's,
that. It's
I took
like,
Ryan's
yeah.
fucking
I drove my-
alternator out of his daily for my car.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
drove
The
my
weekend.
fucking VG
Yeah.
out there and it got fucking pillaged.
yeah. like
Yeah.
Just for my car. Just him being a legend
so
helping
on
me out.
that finals on the Fridays on that Easter weekend, like what an hour before Misfit, Jamie Harvey crank sensor done. And they were like, yeah, that's like a 2-hour process.
Or for them too, because all the pipes.
Because
and
his
stuff.
pipes are
yeah.
so
I
like
I stuck my head under.
intertwined.
I stuck my
Yeah.
head under for a quick. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
I would just
Oh
chuck
my
it.
And
God.
there was
I would
like,
chuck it in the too hard basket, but they did it and they got out there.
yeah,
and,
and
they
that,
did
but
the skids.
people were like, oh, that's like, oh, like I saw like 6 guys like trying to help
Yeah.
him, like, and they were underneath.
That was
they were
crowded.
and then
Yeah.
someone crowded him in like, oh, that's when he competitors you don't have to worry about. And I was like, man, I'd rather skid against him and lose than watch him sit on the sidelines from a crank sensor. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I could do something, like, there's already heaps of blokes in there helping him.
Yeah.
Like, I would only get in the way, but I was like, I don't want to compete or not compete against someone because of that. Like, it's not how the
Fuck
sport is done.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
We
I
go
would
to some
rather- I'd
extents
rather
to
lose
fucking
to
get
him.
going.
and like, I'd rather lose to him fairly
Yeah.
than
Correct.
watch him sit on the sidelines and not make it
Yeah,
from a
that's
$200
Correct me if
sensor.
I'm wrong. Can't
Like,
LSs run like just on one or the other? Like, couldn't he just run it on the cam sensor, or is that just not how it works?
Nah, usually you can turn the cam sensor off and run just on the crank, but the
Oh,
crank,
because he did a crank
but the
sensor.
cranks where
and
your
run.
RPM, you watch your RPM.
crank is the definite
Because
one
I
you
don't know
want.
how his car's set up or anything. So
Yeah.
like,
So when I used to
Haltech,
when
I
I
I
used to
know
go
with
through,
I know with our cars or your LSs, I know if you have a cam angle sensor drama, it just backfires the first time you hit the
Or
key. and
because the
it's
MSD
sweet.
only uses them for startup, and
Yeah.
it's not being used.
Yeah, right.
so when I used to go through crank sensors, it would just show 0 RPM
Yeah.
on wind over.
Yeah.
And then I'd be
You
like,
haven't
oh,
had a
that's
drama since that Rocky Nats, hey? Have you?
I haven't had a drama, since
Because that was the
we've got
first.
the
That
new
was the
one
first
in.
outing with the combo.
Yeah,
then
since
ever
then
s-
I've
ever
only
since
swapped
then.
one. I've only swapped one of them and a cam sensor just for the sake of it. Because I
Yeah.
went like a year or so and I was like, I'm just going to do it just because. And I think I was going into like a big weekend. Maybe it was like Summer Nats or something. And I was like, I'll
Yeah,
swap
I'm
all the
pretty sure it
sensors
was
over. Like,
Summer
yeah,
Nats, yeah.
I'll spend like a couple $100, swap all my sensors out. That way I know they're fresh. I've done that. Mine are, thank God it's not like a process like Jamie Harvey's are. Like I can get to mine like fairly easily.
Yeah.
How good of a set?
But-
Like, let's just like, how good is Pinky? How good is
Oh,
Pinky?
fuck
Like,
it hell.
especially
She's doing all right.
as of late. Like,
Shouldn't
and I'm
have
not
been
even
still
just
running.
because it's like you know,
yeah, bro.
not even
What do you
just because
mean?
it's got a bit of Winginit power
Just
in it.
no,
now.
just me and like the slapper, just the
Ah,
fucking
how fucking
Just the
good
slap-
is
the
it,
slapper
man?
should not have
Like,
still been running.
the slap
Not at
together.
all.
It's been fucking trash.
Well, it was a
It was only meant to do a couple
$200
meetings.
marketplace
Yeah,
can
yeah.
that I brought second hand off someone.
Yeah.
Which when I tell people that, they're like, "What do you mean you brought off marketplace?" I was
I
like,
was
"Man,
just listening to that
we were
today.
slapping an engine together." I
Our-
was like, "How do I find the biggest, dirtiest cam I can?" And then I think you or Kieran was like, "Oh man, this guy on marketplace has a turbo killer. Buy that for $200."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Righto." So we literally threw that in, and then it's still Gen 3s. We
Fly cut the factory pistons.
yeah,
we
shaved
have-
the
we have
hundreds
our
out the heads.
process.
Kieran did the little home port job, and then like,
KB
that's
special.
it, man.
And it
yeah,
has graphite head gaskets.
yeah, and the saving, or not the saving grace, but like the most money is in that whole trunnion setup.
Oh yeah,
Whereas-
it's all
Yeah.
Where
That's the key with our motors, I
Yeah.
guess. Is
Yeah.
it's
top end. Yeah.
regardless of what we're doing with bottom, it's you keep
Yeah.
that top end
The
alive,
top
man.
end's
Like,
sweet, yeah.
fuck me, everyone knows how good an LS is. Like,
Yeah.
just
Whereas Race Max are like, oh yeah, that trunnion setup and they'll see $9,000. Like the
spring-
stock bottom end won't.
Nah.
Like it may once, but that's it. Like
It's not
yeah,
them
Shane
real,
going.
That's the
Yeah,
thing
like-
with like it's probably.
And I still rev it to 7 all
Yeah.
day, every day. Like it loves it. Like,
I've had a conversation with some bloke. He's like, man, I've never seen Pinky on songs just so consistently and rah rah rah. He's like, what have you done to that engine? And I explained to him, and he's like, you're fucking joking, right? He's like, I've got a stock bottom end LS
Yeah.
in my VX, and it doesn't party nowhere near that hard.
yeah, like go. Yeah,
Carby.
you don't have to
Go
spend all.
carby,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
100%.
yeah, well. So the most expensive part is that APD carb. Like,
And that can't make it come alive.
yeah,
That's what Miles needs
And
to do.
that's-
Go carby, I reckon.
Hey, I'm just gonna because we're a burnout podcast and I love to stir the pot, and it's not even stirring the pot; it's fucking facts. Carby makes more peak power than EFI. Educate yourself.
educate yourself.
EFI is more.
If this
consistent.
microphone could come out, he'd just drop it and be like, "I'm
Yeah,
out."
well, it's, man, the whole time I'm a young bloke. I'm 24, but the whole time I grew up was carby. You put a carby on, you
Same,
instantly
yeah.
lose power. That's not the case.
Yeah.
It never has been the case. Yeah,
It's only because no one knows how to tune them.
Yeah, and man,
it's not
those-
even that.
A
It's
perfectly
just
tuned one
Carb-
will.
Carby fucking atomizes fuel. Way
That's what I'm
better
saying. A
than
perfectly
EFI.
tuned one, yeah, will has the potential to
The thing
definitely
is,
make more
EFI
power.
is more consistent. Your torque curve is more consistent. Like everything has its place. But for what we're doing, wide open burnouts,
Yeah.
you can't beat carby.
I was
Hey,
surprised too.
we-
Like,
we've
when we-
converted old Pinky. He was
Yeah.
EFI. He is now carby.
But
and-
when
So,
I
yeah.
I messaged Kieran like a month or 2 out from Summernats. So I was like, hey, at what stage do I need to order this carby like to have it here in time? And he's like, oh, Damien and I have already ordered it. It's on its way.
Done.
And I was like, oh, so I didn't realize, but they sent like all the engine specs. That APD carb is built and jetted to that engine, like
Yeah.
to that slapper.
Yeah.
And then they got it. They put a bass tune in it, and we haven't really touched it. Like, haven't changed anything, man. We bolted it on. The
Went
boys
on
are like,
fucking.
the boys touched it like a slight bit just to get it humming, and we fucking
Yeah.
left it alone,
I
man. Like,
remember
They're
when you had-
pre-tested too, so they
yeah.
literally
the
come.
Like,
bogging
it's-
problems.
Oh yeah,
Like,
when
But that was from the old
He
one.
had the
Yeah,
950
exactly,
on
yeah.
it, and we
Which is
knew,
way too big.
We knew for ages, and I had conversations with people. It was like, oh, it's bogging down on the tip. We're like, we know why though. We
Yeah.
know why, and
Yeah.
we knew why.
Dropped carby
yeah.
size.
We dropped carby size, and look at it now.
Yeah. Went down to
Look
like a
at it now.
purpose-built carby for that thing, man. Like,
Snappy.
yeah, we took it out of the box, put it on.
That was before
boys
Mackay
put-
had.
And as for like, and
Yeah, that was no,
And then-
no, Mackay. I used one of Kieran's ones.
Yeah,
off his
yeah, that
block.
was
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
right.
test.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
what we
yeah.
gave, which
Yeah.
gave us the kind of the benchmark to be like, wait,
Yeah.
go and get one of these.
And
And that's
that's
why I was like, I'm buying one of them.
And that's when what place did you come?
I come first in the V8s and second
Oh,
in the pros.
that's
I think.
right,
yeah, that's
right. Which I think is sitting just up there, just above your head.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to fucking
but
gloat or
and,
anything,
and
but
with the new like.
Hollywood.
yeah, if I roll into an event from now on, look the fuck out. No.
And with the diff gear change, man, like your first skid,
Oh, that
everyone's
was-
like,
yeah,
oh, it's
that was-
bogging down again, rah, rah,
Yeah.
rah. And then you came back, you're like, no, I just didn't have the cunt flat.
Yeah, and that was me too. Like, yeah, I was on
And
that
then you
main
proved
straight,
it.
and I was kind of like, oh, like, where do I want to keep it to, or where do I need to keep it to do this and do that? And then I was like, threw it in a little bit, and I was like, oh, this is like, and I was just kind of learning how to drive it again.
You proved it on the pad,
And
man.
then-
it's,
yeah.
It's got ample power
Yeah.
still.
And then I spoke to Jason Tanks, who owns Caspar, who I grew up with, who we'll definitely have on this podcast at some point. He's a local
Yeah,
fella,
yeah.
but I grew up in Cairns with him.
Yeah, man.
So, Tanksy, who owns Caspar, he said to me, he's like, what was on that main straight? I said, oh, I didn't have my foot flat. And he's like, man, bury that fucking thing to the floor
Yeah.
and let that thing eat. And I was like, yeah, true. And then on the Saturday, the second demo, I was like, I kind of remember that because I looked at him before I went out, and I was like, yeah, you're right. And just went bang, top, and I just never lifted. And I was like, yeah, he's right. Like, it fucking... But that was the first time of driving it since the diff gear change. So I was like, oh, how's it going to react? Or is it going to bog down? Is it going to do this or that? But yeah, and I've heard the video and I've watched it back, and you can hear it. It sounds like it's bogging, but it's literally me I was like halfway up. Even in the skid,
Yeah.
I was flat, and I was lifting and lifting and lifting to get it off the limit. I was like, fuck me, like I'm lifting a lot, like to try and even get it off. So there's no chance of bogging whatsoever.
Oh, man.
And then on the last skid in the finals, I looked down, it was doing like 5,600. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? I couldn't get it to the floor. My foot was stuck on the carpet. And then I was like, what's happening here? And then I finally pushed through the carpet, and I was like, oh, there we go. So you hear it die down a little bit, and then it picks back up again. But it's never the car's problem. It's always been me and my right foot. Just
then
fucking around.
you went out and
just
proved
fucking
it.
around with
The
shit.
nighttime skid, man.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
it did exactly what we wanted. He was
Yeah.
he wanted to
Yeah,
get
minute
his,
15,
he
minute
wanted to get his
25.
time down. We
Oh,
knocked
yeah.
about 40 seconds off his time to get the tires
Yeah.
off, and that's
And it
phenomenal.
did that, like, well, the first one, because going into that weekend, you said to me, like, your last skid at Summernats, I think it was
Minute
minute
50.
58, which is
Like,
a fucking
minimum.
long time.
It It was a bit, little,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Like,
too
that's
long.
ages.
You want to be getting tires
way
off
too
about
long.
a minute 10. In my
Like,
opinion.
I'm getting bored watching a skid for 2 minutes. Like,
Yes.
and then I'm
Yeah.
out there for 2 minutes. I'm driving around like, what's happening?
And it's
then,
hard. It's hard on your car too,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Like,
it's hard on the car. It's hard on everything. So I said to you guys, like, I want to get the time down to like a minute 15, minute 20 would be like perfect. And then the first skid when your dad built the center for me, I come out and you're like, that's a minute 15, tires off. That's it, done. Like, happy days.
Yep.
Second one was a minute 25, but that's because we're at 5,600 for like 10
Shout out,
seconds.
Rodney.
Yeah, and then you were on.
So yeah, shout out to Rodney, man. Like he,
Yeah.
for like 2 cartons of piss, built me a center.
Cheers,
Fuck, man.
Dad.
Like she ain't, yeah.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
Fucking
So-
hell.
Yeah.
on that topic, he's fucking assembled the diff on every car, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe apart from
On
Winginit.
Cuddles, he did
He
Cuddles.
did Cuddles.
Yeah.
He did mine. He
Yeah.
did yours.
And they're all like Cuddles have been gone for years.
Did he not do?
Like,
Okay, no, he didn't do miles. Okay.
Mine hasn't come far.
Oh shit.
Yeah, man. For like, he was like, yeah, gone by these. He's like, it's a big step going from like 3.7s to 3.25.
Big leap, man.
And he said to me, he's like, his only thought was it may bog. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I've already brought him. We're going to figure it out. And we went out and figured it out, and it didn't. And he goes, he was like, fuck, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
He's like, just keep doing what you're doing.
That's
man.
it's
no
a
need to go any
spicy-
further.
It's a spicy LS1, man.
Yeah. Yeah, for
It's-
some reason, it loves it. Like, it's cheap, it's nasty.
I want you to fucking
Wing
race
it,
me, you
baby.
dog.
That's why.
I'll race you whenever you,
Combo.
Anytime I've lined
No,
up
you
next-
just want to
Whenever-
spin the wheels
whenever
so
you
you
want-
don't have to race him.
Whenever you
We
want
know.
whenever you want your feeling hurt, come and see me, man. We can sort it out.
Have you beat Damo? Have you beat Damo?
Yeah, we do have a video actually of you chopping Damo, which I was like, I got it on camera and I was like, oh fuck, I can't believe I got that on camera. Like,
Hey, 2 out of 3, man. That weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
2 out of 3 to Eco Boost.
and I won't tell you, I won't talk about slicks and shit, man. I'll race you honestly, you know.
Let's go to
Don't
the
race
race.
you on the
put
street.
slicks
Let's
on,
go to the
again.
racetrack.
Damo went straight to the excuse book. You just said, let's go again.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Damo's like, let's go to the racetrack.
Yeah, I read.
Let's go to the
same.
slicks.
Yeah.
Let's go Willow Bank. Let's go to a
Mm.
prep surface.
Yeah.
I got you when I
yeah.
took off in second.
Ah, here we go. They're coming out now. Anyone got that little
That's-
fucking violin up
Yeah.
I love it. Brotherly fucking rivalry.
Yeah,
man.
that's right.
Oh,
But
fuck yeah.
yeah, so we kind of fucking detoured a little bit there. But I want to get back to
Let's get back to Andrew.
Back to
Let's get
Andrew, which
let's
is
get
why
back
we're
to-
really
yeah.
up. But
Don't
actually,
have to get back to me.
the process of painting a car, because I really want to know what it's like to paint a car, because I watched you guys paint Pinky over your Christmas break, your New Year's break. Your brother, like Mitch, was like blocking a door, and I walked in at one point. And he was like wet sanding it, and I was like, man, that thing looks like it's like the smoothest surface I've ever seen in my life. And he goes, yeah, there's this pinhole like right here, and I was like, no, there's not. And he goes, there is. And I was like, dude, I'm looking at it. There's not. And he goes, I know what I'm looking at. There's a pinhole here. And I was like, man, I can't see fucking shit.
We are.
And you guys were
super
like,
anal.
and I was like, it's a skid car. Can we not go crazy? And you're like, no, we want to leave the shop like Mickey Mouse. And I was like, you're just spending way too much time. Like, this is fucking. But you guys could see things that I couldn't see.
It's hard not to spend the time, bro.
Yeah.
It's
But you
'cause
know,
when
like,
you
and
see
you know
it,
it's there.
Oh,
then.
100%.
Yeah.
Like,
So what? So
And
talk
we're
us
not
through the whole
dodgy.
process of like painting a car.
oh well.
If you can
Normal.
like,
Well,
yeah,
normally I'd like to. Yeah. Normally we have lots of time to start off and.
not with us. Definitely not
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but no. It's just it's pretty simple. Like you
Okay.
know, we just sand the car back. You know, with probably like 180 grit. You
Yep.
know, undercoat it. We like epoxy as well. Like it sort of holds out rust a lot more. Then we'll like hit it with like a high build undercoat and always block it back. We're old school, so we're like 1800 wet and dry, block back the whole car. So that's why your cars look like nice. Like a lot of other panel beaters will just like, spray painters will just give it a quick job, quick
Yep.
hit. But yeah, me and Mitch are just old school and a little bit anal, so we'll always take that extra time to make sure
Yeah.
everything's right.
Oh yeah, I saw that firsthand. I was like, man, he's putting way too much time in my car. I was like, let's just paint it and get it to someone else. You're like, nah, man, there's this here.
Well,
but
that's
then you said to me too, you're like, in the back of my head, I'm gonna know that your roof needs a little bit of bog in this corner or something. And
Yeah,
like if you paint it
something-
and
yeah.
you know that, then it's gonna just sit on your mind the whole time. Which
Oh,
I
yeah.
I understand that completely. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
it makes sense. Like,
And as soon as I mention it to someone as well, you're like
Yeah.
instantly like, "Fuck, it's there."
now you've now you've
Now I
like
need to
verified
fix
that
it.
it's there. Yeah.
But no, that's what we want to do. Just
Yeah.
get
Just
it
spend
right
the time to
first
get it
time
right.
instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Which
Sure,
is
and
great.
Mitch is
And using good products too, like hammer
oh yeah,
coatings and
well,
shit.
hammer
like-
coatings for your car. Fuck, that was the best like automotive product I've used for a long time.
Yeah.
Like that was mint. Like the clear, even polishing the clear, everything like was just absolutely unreal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
No,
it is a good quality.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Yeah.
No,
Check
keep
one
it
too.
down.
No.
Yeah. So you're saying like, yeah, when you're standing, when you're blocking, how are you looking for like lows, or can you just, if you look across the surface, you can just see like the roof has like
Well, we guide code it with like single pack,
yeah,
like
okay.
with single pack black. Yeah, little
There we go. Little adjustment.
little black arm fella. You're right.
We should be
buddy.
right there.
Yeah, so we normally like to block it back with a bit of guide coat too, so we can see any low spots, any high spots, and
Yeah.
just keep working on them. And we like to go light grit too, so some people will finish it off with like 800.
Yep.
We'll finish it off with like 1200, 1500.
Yeah, sure. Yes,
Just
you'll get
to
like that
really
smooth,
get
yeah.
there's no scratch marks,
Yeah.
nothing like that.
And are you aiming for as least the amount of bog as possible? Like you
Oh
want like,
god, yeah,
like as
all
much
the
steel
time,
as possible? Yeah.
100%. If
Yeah.
we had time for that, there'd
You'd
be
have-
no
yeah, you'd
bog.
take, like, yeah,
oh
yeah.
god, we just 100%.
So when you first roll the car and you start sanding it, your idea is to go straight like all the way back to bare metal.
Yep.
Yeah, and then start
And
from there.
a lot of and like beat out a lot of the bare metal and like
Yeah.
try to get the shape right. And
Yeah.
if it's too far gone, like Horde Nemo's car,
yeah,
you
we're all
have to
looking, we're all
use
looking
bog.
over here like this guy.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, even
It's all
hail
right.
damage. Like the first time I met Damo, like we did.
Oh, the
his
car
bonnet.
was fucking riddled.
170,000 hail dents out of the fucking
And
bonnet and the
like,
roof.
there's not one bit of fucking bog in that. We pulled
Oh,
every bit
right.
of hail damage
I
out
could
of
not
that.
be more thankful. That
So
was
are
the
you
one thing that
pulling
done
that
my
out?
head in.
Yeah.
Are you pulling that out like the dentless removal shit, or you
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
banging
Suction
it out?
cap.
Dentless.
Or you're doing
yeah,
both,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're
the
doing-
dentless removal stuff.
So you
we
do
use.
that first.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we just high build undercoat
Yeah.
and no bog. Just and it looks mint has.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck,
And
yeah,
hopefully,
it's
Yeah, that's-
insane.
I guess the ideal paint job is like you're not losing power like 4 times trying to paint it in a booth and fucking
100%.
through,
Yeah,
through
yeah.
a storm and like a tornado through.
Yeah,
Nat
yeah,
Tambrand,
that,
that
that,
sort
that
of
was
shit.
a little bit stressful, but
Losing power 6
It is-
times.
Which
it
happened.
is-
Which happened painting Pinky before Summer Nats, which is
it
fucking
is what
stressful.
it is. Like it would have been a lot easier if we didn't have that massive storm, but
Yeah, I bet.
you
yeah.
know, fuck,
It-
you
yeah.
can't predict that.
Like
shit,
you said,
so-
it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I mean,
And we got it done, and
Yeah.
you were driving down there
Yeah,
4 hours
100%.
after we painted it. Fucking.
Yeah, which is nuts. Which is absolutely crazy.
But we got there, and it was the best weekend. So
Yeah. Yeah, and then I remember at some of that, so you said to me at one point, you're like, oh, have you noticed that there's maybe like something wrong? And I was like, no. Like, what are you talking about? And you're like, oh, there's one little thing I couldn't do. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know where it is.
And yeah, and
yeah, right, of course, Ryan
yeah,
does.
and then you're like, oh, you haven't noticed? Don't worry about it. I'm like, what do you mean don't worry about it? And that's all I'm thinking about. And I'm like, what's wrong? And you're like, nah, man, there's just like it's all good. And I'm like, it's not all fucking good. You just told me it's not all good.
All,
What's
all I'm
happening?
gonna say is
I couldn't.
Andrew's half fucked spray job sitting next to some other cars looked pretty fucking phenomenal, man.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Losing paint. Losing power and
Yeah.
everything like that, and having to resand it. Everyone already went on holiday, so it was
Yeah.
all by myself. So
Shout
it
out
was a bit
Mitch, too.
sketchy. Oh
Yeah.
fuck, Mitch did. So
Well,
I'm
that's-
sorry we
oh.
haven't mentioned old Mitchy.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So on the, you were like halfway through painting my car, and then you lost power, and then it was go. The information from Hammer was go all the way back and start again.
Yeah.
And you
Start
did. You
again.
did that.
And
Oh.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Didn't want to risk it,
Yeah. Fuck. Which is crazy.
but turned out all right.
Yeah. Which
Turned
is
out
nuts.
fucking insane.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. I fucking haven't touched it apart from Kieran setting on fire for my gender reveal, but
Yeah.
we'll sort that out at a later date. But
We need
I mean,
to
the car was looking mint. It was looking. It still does look.
That
mint,
was a
actually.
fantastic day.
Nah, that was a good. Oh, come
Yeah, I
on.
remember I
Gender
sent-
reveal. You're
I sent him
allowed
a
to
photo.
Set fire
I
to
sent
it.
him a photo. I sent Andrew a photo of like the arse end of the car, being like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry about the rear bumper," because you could see the rear bumpers all like buckled
Blistered
and
and
melted
shit.
and shit.
Yeah.
And then in the background, he could see the pink smoke and goes, "Oh, it's a girl." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's a girl." And he's like,
Yeah,
"Don't worry about
I'm
the
like,
bumper,
"Fuck
dude."
the
Like,
paint, man. Congratulations.
yeah, I was like, "Oh fuck," I'm like trying to show you the
Yeah.
rear.
He would have been left in the dark. Would have had
Yeah,
no
I didn't-
clue.
yeah.
You just sent him a photo of your car on fire. He's like, "Oh, sorry, man." He's like,
Yeah.
"It's a girl."
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, but that in my mind, that for some reason just escaped it. I was like, man, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to repaint this. He goes, fuck that. He's like, he's like, I see the pink smoke. It's a girl. I'm like, oh yeah, it is a girl. Like, and he goes, I'll repaint that like whenever you want. I was like, fuck, I'm so sorry, but yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That was
easy.
That was funny. I was like,
that was mad.
yeah.
For the last half an hour-ish, we'll get into possibly the waterworks, depending on how Andrew's feeling.
Well, do we want to take a moment and we'll take a moment before we get into the deep stuff? We'll cut to an ad. So we have Tropical Meltdown sponsoring this episode. So we'll cut to a quick ad, and then we'll come back in a minute. We'll get into some heavy questions.
And get on Spotify.
And also, yes, leading into that, we are on Spotify now. Damien's done a lot of work in the background. Thank you very much.
Trying.
So yeah, thank you, and we'll be back in a minute. G'day guys, Craig from Idle Talk Podcast. Damien's on the couch with me. We are here. This episode is brought to us by Tropical Meltdown cans, as you can see here. Cairns Speedway, July 20th. There is 10 grand up for grabs. There's 2 Masters tickets. It's one day. It's the biggest one-day event in Far North Queensland. It's all out action, massive amount of cars, like huge list of cars. It's all skids. Everyone throws everything at it. They sponsored us for this episode and probably the next couple. We want to thank them. And yeah.
We definitely love anyone that comes on board, and yeah, you're definitely mad if you don't enter it. We will definitely all get there as soon as we can.
Definitely.
But
yeah, if you haven't been there yet, enter and make the track. Like, it's definitely an event to be at. So yeah, thank you for them. Thanks Kev Davis. Thanks for the whole North Queensland team.
Legends.
We appreciate it, and we'll support you where you support us. Thank you very much.
Now back to the podcast.
Righto. Yeah, we are back from the
And we are back.
Tropical Meltdown ad, whatever that was in the background. Our producer's
that.
throwing shit around.
yeah, he's
So
having
thanks for Tropical Meltdown
was a 10.
for jumping on board.
That was a 10 mil spinner.
So yeah, we definitely have to fix this up and get you
Speak into
sorry,
the
yeah.
maybe
microphone.
push the thing a little bit closer to the microphone. Yeah. There we go. Miles can always check it out, make sure it's sweet.
Anyway, we'll get
So,
into the
yo.
final question of the podcast.
The last couple of questions, or are we on the final one? Damien's going to pump this one out.
I mean,
pretty much.
yeah, go Damo.
Yeah, we're pretty much there. So yeah, pretty much. How'd you find out about us, and what made you want to reach out and do such a nice thing? Because it blew me away when I first got the message from you.
Yep.
Like, I was like, nah, this is
This is a scam.
yeah.
He looks like
well-
a scammer.
Yeah.
Nah, well, without getting too deep, and I'll probably get
Let's
deep.
get all the way.
Let's get deep. Okay, so
DNM.
Get the lube, we're getting
Let's
deep.
get all the way in.
Tissues
All right.
out.
So, I
for
fucked
the
my
tears.
back, right? Real bad. So, the only thing that was like, I've always been in a motorsport, but one thing, like, before I met you guys that was giving me, like, I don't know, like, takes your mind off shit, especially having 3 kids, family, business, whatnot, was surfing or ocean photography. Hurt my back
mate.
real bad.
Yep.
Fuck my back. I won't be better ever again. Like, I need proper surgery and stuff like that. So that was out of the question.
Yep.
So I started looking at like motorsports, like my other main love. Like, let's get back into that. So I started looking at the YouTube. The first video was actually, I think it was Carbotech. Or I think it was, I think it was Carbotech was the first one. So I started watching a lot of YouTube, like you boys, and then got on antidepressants because I was like in a bit of a dark hole. So got on them, started feeling a bit better. Then I was like, fuck it. You guys going up to the Winginit number 2. So instantly I was like, I'm going to go up there. Never been on a plane before by myself. My mate's a miner. He's up there. I was like, fuck it, let's go. So I flew up there, got a hotel room, just to pretty much see you boys. Never even messaged you, nothing. Went up there just to see you guys.
Yeah.
Because all the build up to, before Winginit 2, like all your videos were like so sick. Like, it just motivated me heaps.
Yeah.
So I had that motivation. Like, I went up there, had the best time of my life. I sort of met you guys, like, a little bit. Like, I was little bit too, like, nervous to meet you properly.
Yeah.
And then straight after that, hit you up and said, do you need anything at all? Can I help you out? And the first thing you said was, My
Please
bonnet's
fix
fucked.
my bonnet. Please fix.
It has so much hail damage, and I need to cut the hole in
And
it.
was
What
cut.
happened with the hail damage?
It had a triangle cut as
I
well.
bought the car like that.
Oh, right. So your bonnet
Yeah.
was always hail
My
damage.
and the roof and
Ah, right. Okay.
yeah.
So I was pretty much just like,
You're like, I can fix hail
like
damage.
kitchens are our specialty. I know cars. It's like my love. So, I want to do the best job for Damo. Did a good job for Damo. Went up to Power Cruise, met everyone, and we sort of just went from there.
Yeah.
Like, because before then, I was like in a dark place, like fucked up. So now,
Like
yeah.
mentally.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I know. It was real bad. So after, sort of having something that could take your mind off something and make you relax, and then that gets taken away from you,
Yeah.
and then you don't have anything,
Yeah.
it sort of puts you in a bit of a dark place for a while.
Yep.
So,
Which I'm sure probably we can all relate to in this room, or even a
100%.
lot of a lot of people at home watching can relate to that at some point. In their
100%.
life.
So,
Definitely.
You're probably speaking to thousands of people right now.
well, man,
Like,
no, 100%. So, without sounding like getting too deep, like even just connecting with you guys and like Winginit Motorsport, like has been like one of the best things for me,
Yeah.
like for sure. Like even beforehand, I was calling Lifeline, and I even wrote the number. So 13, 11, 14. So if you ever need it,
that's fucking
fucking
ring
ring
that
them.
number.
They also have a SMS hotline as well. So if you don't even want to speak to anyone, you can always just
Yeah.
send a text
Oh, right.
message.
If,
And
if you're like me and
100%.
Andrew and you're a socially awkward person
Yep.
and you do not
can-
like talking to people on the phone, you can
Yeah.
chat to them via
Yeah.
text message.
100%.
Or if you feel like you don't have someone you could turn to and talk to,
100%.
ring
And
that number out again.
It's 13, 11, 14.
13, 11, 14.
And I mean, I have a beautiful wife and 3 kids, but when you get to that sort of dark place, you don't think of anyone.
Yeah.
You know, like you're just,
Definitely.
you look back and think you're selfish, but at the time you're,
It's what your brain's telling you. Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
don't
And the
think of
brain is a
anything.
powerful
It's
thing,
it's
yeah.
really bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like that before Winginit Motorsports. So
Yeah.
I've always ran the it ain't weak to speak. Like
Me and Dan
100%.
ever since our first plates on the cars,
Yeah.
had "It ain't weak to speak"
And-
hashtag
Yeah.
on the top.
and that
of
was
the
just going through a bit of stuff, and then like all the boys know, like I went through a bit of an episode a couple of months ago where I was on a couch with the worst anxiety and experience of my fucking life, and I was
100%.
looking at similar stuff like that, Lifeline shit like that. Like
Yep.
it is a fucking struggle, and a lot of people do stay quiet, and
Yeah.
they shouldn't. They
Yeah,
It's
shouldn't
you
the worst.
definitely
Thing,
should,
it's
yeah.
the worst thing to
You
do.
definitely
because
should not.
even reaching out to you boys and that, and like having all you guys, and fucking like everyone always checks up on me, just seeing how I'm going and stuff like that. So it's fucking
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you need that. You need to reach out.
Yeah.
You really do, because like the things that help you out are the friends that you want to reach out to.
Yeah.
Be
Definitely.
open as. Like, there's no fucking shame.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tearing up right now. I'm not ashamed.
No,
I don't give a
definitely not.
fuck. It doesn't make me
And
any
it's-
less of a man.
Yeah.
It makes me more of a
100%.
man of
Yeah.
actually speaking
speak.
about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
people have to.
Definitely.
It's
Because, I
something-
mean, your kids and your family, no one wants
Yeah.
to lose you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you just, get your head together, and there's
Yeah.
always people to reach out to and
Yep.
stuff like that.
There's always
And it's-
help there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially like in the car scene. I think like that "It ain't
Oh,
weak to
it's-
speak" sticker. Like I know it's a sticker on a car, but like it speaks to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and like a lot of
100%.
people run it, and like a lot of people mean it, and they stand behind it.
Yeah.
And the car scene is like very big on that, because I know in the car scene, in general, like we've lost a few, like
Yep.
a few, people with cars and
Exactly.
stuff like over the years, and then people run that sticker, and like you may from the outside it may look like just a sticker, but when you read it, you're like, oh, it's not weak to speak, and then subconsciously that's still like that's drumming in the back of your head.
And I've spoke to
And then-
so many, after just opening up, I've spoke
Yeah.
to so many random people that have actually had struggles,
Yeah,
and like I feel like I've helped them out.
yeah,
Like, just even people like semi-opening up, then I open up to
Yeah.
them, and then they're instantly like, they'll be a blubbering mess.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they just need that one person just to hit them up, just to ask how they're going.
yeah.
Sort of like
Yeah.
Joey Diaz.
100%.
Like, what's up, cocksucker? You
Yeah,
know, like,
yeah.
just always
Yeah.
check in on your mates.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy.
And,
Definitely
and
always check
especially for guys too, like it's not easy for guys to do it.
It's
And, like I grew up, like I'm 37, and like you're like 40. It's like we kind of grew up in a time where like you just didn't talk about it.
100%.
And then now I feel like in today's like sort of era that we're in, it's like we're trying to make it like you
It's
can
getting
talk
better.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely getting better. And then
100%.
like I talked to you about like a lot of
Yeah.
shit. And like I'm like, oh, this is like quite easy to talk to someone about it.
It
And then the more you
helps
do it,
so
the more
much.
you're like, oh, this is actually getting easier and easier.
Yeah.
And then you don't feel ashamed about it, and it does seem the conversation does seem to come easier. I think it's more of like I thought about it today actually. I was like, I think it's when I was younger, I was immature. It's like I didn't have the mental capacity to hold that conversation with someone, no matter if they were struggling. Say, when I was 20, one of my best friends come to me and had that conversation. I'd been like, I don't know what to do, man. Like I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
Now I'm 37. It's like, oh, now I've learned a lot about life. I can help you out a little bit, or
100%.
or just be that ear. I've got fucking big ones, and they can both hear. So like, like I'm here, like, but you know what I mean? Like it's like when you're younger, everyone's telling you need to talk to someone, but you don't have that mental capacity to be able to
And you
do
don't
that.
want to. You
like-
don't have the balls.
You have the
feel
balls
like
to
a
do
pussy.
it.
You have too much testosterone to be like,
Yeah.
fuck this. I'm
Yeah.
a tough guy. I'm not going to
But
say
when you get to
anything.
like our sort of age, like I feel like
Yeah.
it's like over 30s are like, oh, we're open, we're willing to speak about
100%.
it because we know what it can do. And like I'm not trying to like say like under 30s don't do it,
Yeah.
But-
but there seems to be a stigma of like you can't at that age.
100%.
And I genuinely don't think I could have at that age because I don't think I had the mental
Neither.
capacity to hold that conversation
No
or
way.
to help someone. In
I didn't
need.
have that till I was 35.
But now
bro.
I'm like, I'm here for anyone. Fucking
Like-
reach out. Like I'm always here. But now I've been to therapy. I work for a business who offers like 9 free sessions a year, and I'm very lucky in that space. So I take those. Like I go and talk to someone, and then I learn a little bit from them. And I don't I'm not a professional. I can't I don't feel like I like not professional to help anyone, but I can give you like the advice that I've been given, or I can listen.
100%.
And the biggest thing is listening.
Yeah.
It's just listening to what
Letting
someone's going
someone
to
just
say.
get stuff off their chest.
And
man.
yep.
Just
And
let someone have that outlet, and that the weight that lifts off their shoulders is fucking massive.
100%.
And I'm so stoked that you like found a group of people that you're like, I'm gonna reach out to them and
Yeah.
offer them like, what can I do for you, whatever. And it wasn't even that. Like that's obviously not why you got brought into the group.
Yeah,
We were like,
yeah,
oh, he
but-
can fucking paint cars for
Yeah.
free. we're like,
definitely
oh, let's
not.
bring this dude in. Yeah, a little bit to do that. But like, and I
That's
remember,
how I started, but now it's family.
but I remember like you
Fucking
reached out to
earth.
Damien, and then I remember your wife Amanda. She reached out to the group, and she was like, "You guys have no idea what you just did for my husband." Like,
Yeah.
My
Yeah, that
husband-
was, those messages.
yeah, and
were
like
fucking awesome.
reading those messages, you're like, holy fuck! Like, you don't like. I constantly remind myself of like, I'm just a guy who just was lucky enough to build a car, and I'm just doing what my hobby is. And then as it kind of progresses, and I see like young kids coming up and they're talking to me, or they might want a photo or a signature or whatever, and then you talk to adults about it, and then you're like, oh, like I have kind of subconsciously built a platform where like I may be able to help someone.
100%.
Or I took a little girl for a drive at Friday. She was like 12 years old.
Yep.
Took her for a few laps around, and her parents like were like so thankful. And they're like, she may be suffering on the outside, and I didn't see any of it, but like at home and stuff. And then they're like, what you did for her is like massive. And I'm like, man, all I thought I did was like just drive around in the car, and it's something I could do like
But there's a-
easily.
yeah,
but
we're
there's all
all
this
that-
other stuff that you don't even know.
We're all those kids that, you
Yeah.
know, one
Yeah.
time, and we're all like
And it's
looking
like-
up to people like you and Damo, fucking Ryan,
And I also look
Miles,
up
like
to
always
yeah.
like,
I also look up to other
Kieran.
people in the scene.
Yeah,
like I want to
100%.
go and talk to that guy. Like I want to go and talk to Loda, or I want to go and talk to like Lynchy,
Yep.
like all the,
Yeah.
the guys like Phil Kajim, like Tough Street. Like I want to go and talk to those guys. That's who I look up to.
well, that was
And
me.
then-
I
yeah.
wanted to go talk to Damo,
Yeah.
talk to Craig, talk to Ryan.
That's why I hang out with
And-
people so
like-
much older than myself, because I feel like I'm a rare breed.
You are.
when it comes to
Yeah, in the new
Yeah.
generation.
Well,
yeah.
because
I think you're in a very-
all the people
very unique
my
spot,
age,
yeah.
all the people my age are just too busy doing stupid shit,
Yeah.
or street
But-
skids, or this,
yeah,
or that. Like
You're gonna grow up a lot quicker than probably people your
well,
age.
I've always hung out with people like double my fucking age.
Yeah.
Like I'm 25.
Yeah.
I always hang out with people in their 30s or 40s. I never hang out
fuck,
with
I'm-
people.
Yeah, it's
my own
crazy.
age.
I'm
I'm
12 years
40
old,
and
and
I
I was
never.
like, Jesus.
Bro, I'm 40 and I
But,
don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
see Ryan as a 25-year-old. Like,
either do I.
it's like we're
100%.
equal. Like it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's weird. It's
And I think
the maturity.
people in the car scene, we obviously gravitate to helping each other.
Yep.
I mean, gravitate to helping
Oh, it's
people like
fantastic.
strangers, or like like if you want
Anyone,
to call them
yep.
fans, or like whoever it is. We always gravitate to be like, yeah, I can help you. I think it's like somehow it's in our core of like, if you're a car, not saying that other people don't do it, but like if
Yep.
you're a car person, you seem to want to help a fellow person.
It is
Whether they're in
definitely
need, or
like
whether they just
that.
want to come and have a chat to you, or like, can I sit in your car for like 10 minutes? Like, yeah, dude, sit in my car. Like,
Yeah,
whatever the
100%.
case may be, go and do it. Like, we don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are, what gen you are. Like, come and have a chat. or if I can help you out, come and have a chat. And like, I'm so glad that you found that and you were able to come and talk to someone and be like, and then found a group, and now we're all like fucking good friends.
Well, it was always like what drew me to Winginit was just the natural aspect of how you guys communicated. There was no bullshit.
Yeah.
Like even if you guys fucked up and like something happened, you'll put it up on your,
Not
YouTube.
anything.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
Like there's no bullshit. It's just you're normal people. You see what you get.
Yeah.
And that's what attracted me to you guys. And I was like, now we're like family.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's-
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best thing I've ever done.
Now you're in. Yeah. You're like, you blooded in. You fucking.
stuck.
It's a hard way to get out now.
I haven't been stomped in yet, but we're waiting for that to
Yeah. It's
happen.
more like you skid in than you skid out. Like.
I haven't done a skid yet, so
Yeah,
fuck.
but you're still in. You painted 3 cards like a loophole. You can. Like,
Get out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But nah, man, it's been an absolute like fucking pleasure. Like I've known you for a couple of years now, and I don't even like I can't even think about what it was like before I knew you. Like
I'm the same.
you know what I mean?
same.
Like it's natural. And this whole group is natural. Like we don't bring anyone in or like push anyone out. It's nothing like that. Like
Just a flow.
it's just a flow. Like
it is. I didn't have to.
You get
try
along with
you.
us. We get along with you. Happy days.
Yep.
You're not in or you're not out. Like you're just a
Just
part
quickly,
of the group.
the first time I met you, you come driving in. I got in the ute, so I didn't have to walk up the hill. And you were like freaking out. You're like, "Oh, hey man, it's really nice to meet you. I've seen your videos and stuff." And I was like, "Bro, can you just drive us to the top of the hill? There's beers up there. Have one, relax, bro." Like, it's cool, bro. You're like, you're freaking me out, bro. I was like,
So nervous.
I was like, bro, it's Saturday. I just want to have beers and figure out what's wrong with my car. Turns out it was an RB.
But man,
dude, I was so nervous the first time I rocked up.
man, I was nervous the first time the boys
it's gold.
bring your car to like the Yatla shed and we'll start ripping it out and putting like cuddle shit in it. I rocked up there, man. I was fucking panicking. Meanwhile, when I walked up to their shed, there was like a Rottweiler at the front gate. Damon's like, "He's fine." Walk in, I was like,
The old security, old security dogs. They look like the worst.
They look like
most
that
vicious
eat me,
dogs
man.
ever, but they would.
But
not
he didn't
hurt
tell
a
me they were
fucking
there.
soul.
He wouldn't.
He goes, "Oh, just bring your car to here." I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." Rock up, man. I'm like, no one's at the front gate. No one, and I'm like, haven't met any of them. I met Kieran once, and I'm ringing. I'm like, "Oh, Damon." He goes, "Yeah, open the gate." I'm like, "There's a fucking 6-kilo Rottweiler standing there looking at me." And he goes, "Oh no, he's fine." I'm like, "He doesn't look fine."
That was the sheep.
So like, she. So I open the gate and I'm like, "Hey, puppy," and like, then I come in like,
Please
and
don't
then
kill-
he's like, "What were you doing?" I'm like, "What the fuck me I was doing? I was shooting myself out there." But like, he was sweet. Kieran was sweet. Your dad, I met him. Like, he was sweet. Then I met you, and like, didn't meet him for like a while. Kieran, sorry,
luckily.
Miles didn't even know I existed. He's like, I don't even know this pinky car's like a thing. I'm like, it's a fucking thing. But it was just a group. It was very welcoming, and I've now like, I've been a part of it ever since.
It's exactly the same with me. Like,
I'm glad you're the same. Like, yeah.
it's hilarious that I reached out to want to paint your cars and help out. Like, I bust balls in the cabinet making industry to be able to support and, pay for helping you guys out and whatnot. But it's
way more than that.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a family.
Yeah.
Fucking Winginit Motorsport for life.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and yeah,
Like
100%.
the last weekend, like having my car out there, camping with you guys, like,
I love showing the people the feeling. Like, it's still undescribable, and for
It
mental
is.
health and that as well. Like, driving the car, like, when you're steering that car, just nothing else matters.
Yeah.
and
And
to
it,
be-
it does sound like, I know, like the Fast and Furious movies, like sort of made it.
Well,
It sounds so
like, they made-
cliche, but it's
They made
does.
that line cliche, but it's literally
It's dead
serious.
set, you're
like,
just free,
and
like
yeah.
I busted my ass over, like we all did. Like you had, like your converter belt
fuck.
issues, you had multiple gearbox issues, you had alternator issues.
yeah,
I had
Miles,
my wheel
fucking
studs
demo,
were
for
fucked.
taking a week
And like,
off.
yeah, like no matter how hard or how much you push to get your car out there, and you the amount of times I've tried to sell fucking Pinky in my head is like 1,000 times. But like, and then you start it up and it's going, you're like, she's not for sale. Like it's all good.
Yeah,
and then you go and
100%.
drive around the track, especially at Fridays. You go and drive around there for a few times and you power skid or you do whatever you're doing. You try and drift that corner where your camp was. All that shit is just gone. And
100%.
nothing, and literally like, you're like, this is it. Like this is all I want to do. And then you go back to camp and you can chill and you can like talk to everyone about the weekend or the day or whatever. And like, Yeah, all that shit that you're busting your ass for like a few hours ago, that doesn't even matter anymore. And that's what cars are
think
like.
about it.
Cars will test you and cars will push you to your limits.
Yep.
And then when you start it up and you drive, you're like, I don't even know if I was cranky like an hour ago. Like,
100%.
I gave
Free gearboxes,
Yeah, I gave
converter bolts,
I gave
and you
Kieran-
both guys just had fun.
yeah, I gave Kieran the sunnies off my hat because he's like, I need to grind one of your wheel stuff down. He's like, can I borrow your sunnies? I was like, yeah. He did it. It was just him and I standing there, and he ground one of my wheel studs down, and he's like filing it. And he tried to put the wheel on, it didn't happen. And he grabs my sunnies off his head and just fucking yeets them, hits Pinky, bounce straight off, and I'm standing behind him
Hits
like,
Pinky?
yeah,
What
I'm like,
the
you fucking what? And then obviously I couldn't say anything because he was helping me. So I'm like, you got me in a tough position here. I'm fucking angry at you a bit, but you're also helping me. And then I let him go, and he like filed like the thread, and he's like, all right, he's like, sweet. And then he stands up and looks at me and goes, I'm so sorry for throwing your sunnies. I'm like, I didn't give a fuck you threw my sunnies. You hit my car. And he goes, I'm sorry for that too. And I was like, but I couldn't really say anything at that moment because I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing filing my stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of fucking stuck here.
All right, well, I'll send him a message right now to be like, you hit Pinky.
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So you sent him the bill. But I was like, you motherfucker. And then later on he messaged me and he goes, man, he's like, I'm so sorry for like my little fucking tantrum. I'm like, it's like, I get it. Like, I get the tantrum.
Oh, God, yeah.
I understand throwing shit. I understand, like, I've done it before. I was like, but don't throw my shit at my car when you're trying to fucking help me. Yeah. I was like, fucking,
yeah.
throw it at Cuddles or something. It's a wrap, man. We can peel that shit off. Like, it's fucking fine.
How
And
funny
don't throw
would
my
that
brand
be?
new
He's like,
Milton Sunnies
how
across the
funny
fucking
would that
room.
be if he's spennering on your car, turns around, pegs a fucking 10 mil at Cuddles, and just goes back to spennering
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
car? Like,
And it was like, my wife just brought me from your stand. She comes up and goes, I bought these brand new Milton Sunnies. I was like, yeah,
Are
fucking
they the
mint.
brand new military?
Yeah,
Oh.
I whacked him on. I'm like, these are fucking mint. And then I had him on here, and he goes, I need to grind. Can I have your sunnies? And I was like, yeah, happy days. Bang, bang, bang. I'm like, well, there's new sunnies. There's my car. Like, fucking, are you fucking having a joke? And then he's like, you can see. Then he was strapping into work. He's like, I'm just trying to file this. Like, he was like, Craig didn't see that. I'm like, I fucking saw it and I heard it. And then he apologized later. I'm like, it's all good. Like, it is what it is. I get the frustration. I get all of it.
Yeah.
But when you have someone like that, who he had his own car at the event, he wasn't driving it. He was helping me do my shit, or he was helping me do something that I couldn't do. Like, I understood like what had to happen, but I didn't have the skills to do it.
That's so it. Like,
and that's Winginit Motorsports. Like,
Damo was trying to help
Yeah.
me out.
yeah,
I'm like, it was my first event. Like, you know, all the boys were trying to help me out. I'm like, just fucking concentrate on you, have a good time.
Yeah.
It didn't happen
yeah,
because I couldn't tell them no. So it was all just helping me out, got me out there, my family out there.
Yeah.
Had the best time over the whole weekend. It was
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. We're
And
not
they
gonna
had
let you sit there
gearboxes
and
and
not
all
do
this
it.
shit to change. Like,
Yeah.
and still,
It's a good time.
Smile at 7:30 in the morning.
yeah, that's right.
Completely out of context, actually.
Normally
Like,
she's
ugh.
cranky as fuck till 12. But
Yeah.
shit, take her to fucking a Ryan Cobb event.
And even
laughing.
your son Ryle, like when
he
you took
loves it.
your son to Mackay with all of us.
Yep.
The one thing you said to Ryle, like so Pinky wasn't painted yet, and you're like, your one thing you're doing is like polishing all the cars.
Yeah.
And you're like, here's a thing of Boss Gloss, here's some fucking rags.
Yeah, it's been
Make sure they all
hard.
look sweet when they go out there. And he was like, yeah, man. I didn't even look at my car that whole weekend.
Yeah.
Ryle had it fucking perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Then we rolled out to Fridays, and obviously, like, we roll around, like, the camping thing is dusty and it's full of
Oh,
shit.
it's fucked.
And then I was driving around on the tilt train. Ryle stopped me and goes, hey, man, if you need anything on this weekend, let me know. I was like, yeah, man, happy days. Drove off, parked up, got it off. I think you and Ryle come drive along. Ryle gets out, and I'm like, oh, the perfect man at the perfect time. And he's like,
Yeah,
what?
I dropped
I'm
him
like,
off.
I'm like, here's Boss Gloss. Here's some rags. You know what to do, brother. And he did the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Didn't say no. Didn't whinge. Nothing, man.
Yeah.
He was
Loves
like,
it.
he was like, yeah, happy days. Because, like, yeah, he got in the cars. Like, we took him out for shit. Not that that's not even what it's about. Like, it was just that
He
whole
just
group
loves being a
environment.
part. 100%.
He loves being a part of it.
He wants
Like-
to. He feels like he's a part of Winging It.
Yeah.
He's fucking
100%,
laughing.
man.
Like,
Yeah.
we were changing. Like, even
Yeah.
he was asking Damo, where do I put the jack so I can change your tires after like a power skid?
Yeah.
We got like 10 minutes before you need new tires on for a go
Yeah,
skid.
yeah.
So Ryle's already asking like, where do I put the jack? And you know, we're helping. And
Yeah, and it's good to teach someone like a young
Exactly.
guy like that. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
man, if you want to just figure out what you can do, like just to help us all out.
And that's it.
Jack
I'm
the car
like-
up,
I'm like-
change tires.
Ask Damo.
Yeah,
Like,
put fuel,
I know how to
put
do
fuel
it,
in the
but I'm
fuel
like-
cell. Yeah,
Just get some advice
yeah,
and do it how you're told.
yeah.
Like,
And it's like
he loves it.
we're not, and no one here is abusing that like that
No.
power or anything. It's like
it's his. Oh,
yeah. If he
fucking
changes
loves it.
tires for us, it's a massive help.
When
Cleans the car, puts fuel in the car, all that sort of shit. And then the least we can do is like take him for a skid.
he got on,
Yeah,
yeah,
And then, he'll tell you, he'll be like, he'll be the first guy to be like, hey man, just do what you did last night, you'll be fine. You're like,
yeah,
thanks,
he's
thanks,
mate.
Ryle.
He fucking loves it. Oh, we're already talking about his number plate because his name's Ryle. So what's it?
What did Miles come up? Was it Miles?
Miles came up with it.
The best number plate I've ever fucking heard.
So my son's name's Ryle. He wants a burnout car. Rolled up.
Oh, right, that.
Yeah.
Right up, that's actually,
It's a fucking sick name. I sent him
So-
I sent him a link to Unreal Plate, and I'm like, I should just buy it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
just
we
do
actually,
it.
Winginit Motorsports, we should just buy it for him. Bro.
Yeah, I was like, I'll buy
here's
it
your
right now.
fucking-
Yeah.
So
But
on,
yeah,
that, on
rolled up.
those plates too, how did you come up with tension, and what does tension represent to you?
Well,
Because I've looked at your car a
It's-
lot of times and be like, why the fuck's it called tension?
well,
Like, I know my Pinky's called Pinky because she's
tension's always around us. Tension's every day.
Pink. Okay.
So, but tension is because I fucked my back. I can't get in the ocean. I
Yep.
used to be a bodyboarder.
Yep.
Tension's a bodyboard movie. So
Okay.
shout out to Chris Whitey. Fucking, he's a legend. So there's a lot of videos like bodyboarding movies about them, but they're rat bags as well. So, you know, getting nude, fucking doing nudie runs, doing some
So it's like
fucked up
releasing the
immature
tension.
shit. Yeah, 100%.
Releasing the tension.
Releasing the
Right.
tension. Yep.
Gotcha.
So.
So that's why you went.
And after, a bit of mental stuff after I hurt my back and I couldn't
Yep.
get back in the ocean and I took motorsport up again, I was like, fuck, there's no other
no other name
no
for
other
it.
name
than
but
it. Yeah.
tension.
And it
Like,
brought your previous love into the new one.
100%,
of
brother.
being like-
Exactly.
Of being like, yeah, I'll integrate kind of the both of them. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
that's cool. That's,
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Even Chris Whitey's like shouted out my shit before.
yeah.
He's like a mad dude.
At least you got a better story than me. I'm like, well, it's painted pink. It's kind of like called Pinky. Like, I don't really have a story behind it. I'm
It's
like,
pink.
Yeah, I'm like, it is what it is.
But we all go through tension, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's it, man. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Oh,
man, and have you on the
It's
couch.
my
Like,
pleasure. It's
Yeah.
fucking
Where can
It's-
people find you?
Yeah, well, where
Well,
can people
look-
find you on?
Classic Lacquer
We'll
GC
bang it up
on
on
the
the
Gold
screen.
Coast.
Yeah,
100%.
We will definitely bang it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be up somewhere around here on Instagram,
But no, yeah.
Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any cabinet making work, anyone needs anything sprayed,
Any of
hit
their
us up. We're
merch.
the best.
Yep,
We're the best.
definitely. Yeah, man, 100%.
No,
And
I
then,
appreciate
yeah,
it, fellas.
If you do want your car painted, yeah, reach out.
100%.
As long as it's something cool,
Yeah.
not a Kia or something.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
No,
yeah,
I
man,
love it.
I appreciate it. I thank you very much for getting on here and
Definitely.
telling us like your whole life story and cars and everything, man. It's been great. So
Nah, fantastic.
Appreciate it.
thank you very much, and yeah, thank you to everyone
boys.
out there watching and listen to on
Water.
Spotify as well.
And
Yes,
If
then
you don't want
just-
to watch
yeah,
us, if
let's
you're
go.
driving a truck or you're doing something on the highway,
Yeah, jump on, have a
chuck
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the Winginit Motorsports
I was just
Spotify.
listening. Yep.
Spotify account.
I
Yeah,
was just
Idle
listening to
Talk.
it today.
yeah.
Uh,
Is it
no,
on Idle Talk? Or?
Idle
Oh
talk.
yeah,
Search,
sorry,
you search Idle Talk or Wing. Like it's like Idle Talk presented by Winginit Motorsports. So
Okay.
you search
So you
either,
search either
you're gonna come across it.
I
So-
typed in Winginit Motorsports today to listen
And it
to it
comes
at
straight
work,
up?
and
Yeah.
yeah, it came straight up. I started listening to the first episode just to prepare myself.
for what was about to happen.
But yeah,
And talking,
Well,
and
No, it was
speaking of
awesome.
all that, if you want to show any support, we've dropped the first of the shirts.
There's some stuff on the back
oh
there. Yeah.
mad.
That's the back. So
Definitely show your support.
Proudly
Buy-
supported by Tyne.
Yeah, definitely.
Tane.
Show them the front.
And,
Yeah, but
the
it's
front stuff, yeah.
crinkled. It's crinkled.
And while Damo's showing that, yeah, thank you to always Octane Apparel. They've shown us their support from the very, very start of this thing, and we appreciate
Yeah.
Ryan Cobb and the
Shout out,
whole
Ryan.
team.
Sure.
And thank you to Kev Davis, Tropical Meltdown Cans for sponsoring this this episode and the next couple. July 20th is Tropical Meltdown, North Queensland. It's
Hell
it's the 1 day event. It's the biggest Far North Queensland 1 day event in the country.
Cairns International
It's
Speedway.
Cairns International Speedway, July 20th. There's 10 grand up for grabs. It's the 10th anniversary. It's
2 Masters tickets.
2 Masters tickets. Man, it's one day.
It's a big deal.
It's a massive skid comp.
Get
The night
supercharger on, let's go.
the night before,
Yeah, I'll be
there is a
getting that
meet
one,
and
yeah.
greet. Normally held at like the Jack, may have changed. I went for the first 4 as a spectator. I've competed in 1. I'm praying for the day I can get back there again. It is Tropical Meltdown. It is an
Yeah, I wanna do
absolute
it.
massive event, man. It's like one you have to do. Like Brashnats is the biggest one-day event in New South Wales. Tropical Meltdown is the biggest one-day event in Far North Queensland.
Yep.
So definitely thank you to Kev Davis, his whole team, getting behind us, supporting this podcast or this episode and the next couple.
Yep.
Yeah, we will send up as many cars as we can. I'm having a baby, so I may not be there, but someone else can skid Pinky if they want. But yeah, we'll see how we go. So yeah, thank you to Andrew. Thank you to everyone else,
cheers,
man.
guys. Thanks for
We'll
having
see you
me.
on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Legends.
Sick.